Film friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zach and Sean and Ryan are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 14. We are now one away from 15. That's very exciting. My name is Zaki Hassan. I'm joined, as always, by my friends Brian Hall.
Hello.
Sean Coyle.
Y Como My O Movie Film Podcast.
What'd you just say?
That was Welcome to the Movie Film Podcast in Hawaiian.
Oh, very nice.
Wamukalakahiki.
Yeah, the language Brian thinks is made up.
Just like Manti Te'o's girlfriend.
Oh.
Bam! We're timely. See, that's nice. Thank you. And we're joined this week, once again, by friend of the show, Paul Shirey.
How's it going? That was English.
Hooray!
So what are you guys up to? What's new and exciting?
Work.
Who wants to go first?
Really, you can't just throw that out there.
Paul? I guess not. Yeah, I just assumed somebody would grab that. Paul,
I had a fun afternoon.
what'd you do?
No, never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Zach wants to talk to Paul. Go ahead.
Let's let our guests talk. Let's be
Nobody
polite.
puts Paul in the corner. What have I been up to? What did I tell Shirey today, my wife? I said, I feel like my life is like an episode of one of those real world competition shows. Because, like, I'm always, like, running out the door, and I'm, like, trying to find something. Like, where's my keys? Where's this? Where's that? Where's that? And I get to work, and it's, like, the same thing. It's like everything is just a continual challenge because I am just ridiculously busy all the time. And it's like a joke.
Yeah, sounds like you're a grown-up.
Yeah, it's really... Yeah, and it's not as fun as it is watching it on MTV, let me tell you.
Yeah. Well,
Also, there's not grown-ups on MTV, so there's that.
Yeah, good. Yeah, we're now older than most of the people we see on MTV.
We couldn't host
a little
anything on
jarring when you
MTV. That's crazy.
Unless
That's-
you watch
that's a little-
Portlandia, and then you can see when they take MTV back with Tabitha Soren and everybody.
Is Portlandia? Isn't that
It
on
is.
IFC?
It is. I absolutely
It's
love
a
it.
good show.
It's hilarious.
Cool.
Yeah, I keep hearing you
love it.
talking about it. Yeah, I've been meaning to. That's with
Yeah,
Fred
Fred
Armisen,
Armisen
right? He's on
and
there?
Carrie Brownstein, they're awesome. If you guys haven't seen it, any listeners haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's not for all tastes, but I think your general, maybe your little more evolved viewers will really enjoy it. That sounds pompous, but whatever. It's true. They really kind of make fun of like the hipster like culture and stuff like that, and it's really fun to watch because they are that hipster culture. They live within it, but it's a great show. So much props.
Nice. Well, we got a lot to talk about this week, and actually, we're at a good segue point because we're talking about MTV shows and how none of us are young enough now to be able to host an MTV show. But I was actually able to talk with a comedian named Hassan Minhaj, who has a great name because I feel like we could team up and open like a detective agency. Hassan and Hassan. Be pretty awesome. Anyway, so he's a comedian. He's been doing these little internet videos and whatnot with his comedy troupe over the past few years, and he did a very funny video just this past summer called Indian Spider-Man, which is basically what would happen if Spider-Man were Indian. And
I think
Paul, you would probably like
think
it
I
better
heard of
than
that.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Well, that goes for
Oh, yeah,
most
well-
movies. I think I like Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance better than Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, let's not say things. Let's not say things we can't take back now. Come on, that's just Actually, I just saw that a few weeks ago. Spirit of
Oh.
Vengeance, and you know who's in that? Sean is Anthony Michael Head or whatever his name is from from Giles from Buffy. What's his name?
Oh, yeah. Is that his name?
Isn't it Tony Head? That's like his name, right?
No, you're right. It is Tony Head.
But he's in it for
What a
he's
name.
in it for like
Tony
5
Head.
minutes. It's very
Don't forget
random.
the other 5 minutes
It's-
cameo from Highlander himself, Christopher Lambert, with writing all over his
Oh,
face,
that's
which
right.
was the most obscure.
Yeah.
It was like, is that Christopher Lambert? What is he doing? Why is he here?
Well, Tom Jane
Yeah.
was unavailable, so they got his less handsome French lookalike. But anyway, so Hassan put together this video, and it's great. It's very funny. We'll play some of the audio, and he's been doing comedy for a little while, and he's hosting this new show on MTV, which is coming up on Valentine's Day, and it's
Nice.
called Failosophy. And it's a show kind of in the vein of The Soup or Tosh Point or that kind of stuff, where him and a panel of comedians sort of pick apart various internet fails. So I had a chance to talk to him earlier this week, so I thought we'd play some of that. Maybe we can sort of start at the beginning here a little bit, or close to the beginning. So how did we get to the point where we have Failosophy becoming a show? Walk us through your journey a little bit.
So I know that Jim Bierman, who produced the sketch show "The Whitest Kids You Know" and "Kids in the Hall," him along with two other comedians, Evan Mann and Gareth Reynolds, they produced and they sold the idea of the show to MTV, and then MTV brought it pilot. They wanted to do a pilot for it, and so they were looking for comedians to do it, and just coincidentally, almost kind of like a perfect storm of events. I auditioned for it, and they had kind of seen some of my videos, and that kind of helped, specifically with my videos like The Truth,
Right.
The Truth with the Samanaj, that kind of really got it, kind of raised the awareness of like who I was, stuff like that, and it just kind of became like a perfect fit, and I auditioned for it, and I booked it, and then it was a series of like auditions and then testing for it and going out to New York, and then eventually they told me I was the guy, and I went out to New York and we filmed the whole season, the first season this past August.
Oh wow! Okay, so the first season is done from your end.
Yeah. It's wrapped, and we wrapped, and premiere on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 10:30, and yeah.
And how many episodes is the first year?
12.
Oh, nice. Okay. So let's step back in time a little bit further. I was actually hoping to get into some of the you mentioned your some of your video pieces that you've done, and I'm a big fan of the Indian Spider-Man video that you did, and.
Thanks, man. I remember that you posted about it, man. That was really nice of you on your personal blog, man. That was really nice of you, man.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that the Asian American voice, specifically the Indian American voice, is something that is fairly underrepresented in especially in the comedy scene. But I would go further and say in media in general. So what in terms of your approach to comedy, I get my question is how do you thread the needle between sort of talking about things that are personal to you while also making them as making them appeal to as mainstream an audience as possible?
I feel like with comedy specifically, the more personal and more specific you can be, it almost becomes more universal.
Okay.
What I mean by that is just like you peel back like the layers and layers of like human existence and feeling and experience the things that we feel in our everyday lives and growing up. It really kind of boils down to the same feelings all humans feel of like fear, love, loyalty, betrayal, all those things. Like as human beings, like we all feel those emotions, and I feel like if you talk about those specific themes that happen within your specific life or experience, no matter how unique that is, everyone has experienced like fear, love, loss, happiness, joy, like an awkward situation, and I think people really kind of get behind that, and that's where it becomes more of a universal thing. So that's something that kind of like a sketch group, that's what we kind of formulated Goat Face. We just kind of wanted to share our experience and kind of our unique kind of viewpoint on the world through sketch. And what's cool about it is that it's been able to kind of straddle that line between people like within our own community really appreciate it, and I think just people who like really dig comedy and love comedy dig it. And I just noticed that like through kind of, I'm just a huge fan of comedy, and seeing all different comedies or comedy from different people from different walks of life, I can totally get behind it. So that kind of inspired me to be like, oh, if I just like really get specific and share my story or share the things that I've gone through, I think people will get behind it.
Now, you mentioned you're a fan of comedy. Who are some of your personal inspirations in the comedy realm?
Oh man, there's a ton. I would say like Chris Rock would probably be my all-time favorite, but I like the big contemporary, Rock and Cosby are like some of my favorites. But like contemporary comedians, Louis, Bill Burr, Patrice O'Neill, who passed away recently. A lot of Patton Oswalt, a lot of those guys, Daniel Tosh, a lot of those guys are like some of my favorite comedians to watch. So it's to me like my favorite comedians to watch are the ones who really 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 get personal, and they have kind of like the jokes come from their life experience. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily them writing jokes. Like there's like humor in their kind of like in their pain and their struggle and their life experience. I think that's really like what kind of really strikes a chord with me.
Nice. Tell us a little bit about the show too, if you don't mind. What's the philosophy behind philosophy?
Oh, yeah. So basically, the concept that Jim Beerman and Evan Mann and Garrett Reynolds came up with was like essentially like the social media culture that we have is filled with a lot of like fails. Like if it's whether it's like failed text messages, failed prom photos, all of that stuff is all captured now, and like it's all shared through social media. Like 20 years ago, like the notion of like failed text messages or a guy like having hover hands when he's trying to hug a girl and stuff, all that stuff, that didn't exist. There was hard evidence and proof, but like you have to scan it into a computer. But now because of like social media, it's so viral, and these kind of like social media fails, we all kind of like share them. That's the whole kind of philosophy behind philosophy. So it's a hybrid of like kind of like status update fails, tweet fails, photo bombs, like all that, anything that kind of falls under that type of stuff, but specifically the Web 2.0 social media fail. There's a lot of texture and stuff too that's in the show, like people tweeting hashtags that don't make sense, or like people texting with their mom but then they text the wrong person, and like all that sort of stuff.
So are there any particular highlights you can preview for us?
One of my favorite ones is this one where like a mom was tweeting her daughter, and she tweeted her daughter, hey, how's our pregnant little daughter? And the girl responded back, oh my God, Mom, how did you know? And then the mom responds back, she's like, no, I meant precious little daughter. So like, it's stuff like that like, those are some of my favorite moments. And like to do that with the live studio audience is like so great, because we've all kind of been there. Maybe we haven't been like hiding a pregnancy from our parents, but we've all been there where we're like, oh my God, that is not the word that I meant. And like, it's just really fun to do that with the live studio audience. I don't think behind it's pretty great.
So the way the show is set up, you're sort of the master of ceremonies, and then there's a panel.
Yeah. I'm kind of like I'm the host of the show, and I open it up. I do like a little monologue about kind of the trending topics on Twitter. So like a lot of like we pulled kind of like the best of Twitter, like just like really great trending topics and hashtags. I drew a bunch of jokes about that, and then we'll get into like our different segments. Every episode has different segments that involve kind of Web 2.0 fails. Some of them are like crazy tattoos, crazy hairstyles that people have posted online. Some of them are like some status updates that people have posted that like totally show how they're insane. Some of them are like we play different games with the panel. So like we have one called Date Roommate 911, which is basically a game where I pull all these photos from the internet and ask the panel like, who would you date, who would you room with, and then who would you call the cops on? And that's the whole like kind of segment. And then we also have like a live studio audience portion where we pull the audience for like, hey, where was the craziest place that you did X? And then the live panel votes like on like 5 people that we pulled from the audience. So it's really interactive, and it's really fun.
And you said that the season's been filmed. What are you working on in the interim?
Right now, I'm working on just like Goat Face stuff. So I have a sketch comedy group called Goat Face, and right now we're getting ready. Like we're kind of performing a live show at the SF Sketch Fest, which is a sketch comedy festival in San Francisco. So we're preparing our live show, and we're shooting a bunch of videos for that.
And the website is hold on.
GoatFaceComedy.com.
Goatfacecomedy.com. Thank you. I had it pulled up here.
Yeah.
So just to remind people, the show premieres on
February 14th, Valentine's Day, 10:30.
Perfect.
And our lead-in is Ridiculousness. So it's gonna be great because Ridiculousness is a super popular show, and Rob Teardrick has like a really big fan base, and he's very popular on the network. So I think it's gonna be a great look. And honestly, I think it's awesome that MTV is like giving a shot to comedians with original programming. Like they're kind of shifting back into like original programming and developing shows around like comedic talent, and letting them anchor the show. And I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, well, it looks like a lot of fun just from what I'm seeing. So I definitely hope people will be giving it a shot.
Yeah, it's super interactive, and it's very like. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for people to watch and also like kind of like get involved with, because there's a lot of like audience involvement too, where we ask you to like specifically like, hey, like make this trend, or like, hey, what's your take on this? And so there's a lot of like viewer involvement through social media as well.
Right. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
Well, hey man, I appreciate just all the likes and the love and all that stuff, and just the love. It really makes a difference, man, because we make this stuff, and sometimes you feel like you're making it in a vacuum, and you're just doing it for the love of the game. To see people be like, no, I really dig this. It's awesome. To see that it's like it strikes a chord with like people in our community and people, it's like all sorts of different types of people. It's cool.
So yeah, look for Philosophy. Like I said, it starts Valentine's Day at 10:30 Pacific time on MTV. So it looks like it could be a fun show. And he said he's gonna hopefully come back and join us for a full episode. So
Cool.
that should be fun too.
Hopefully, I'll be watching the new Die Hard movie on Valentine's Day.
Well, I can't think of a better way of
So you gonna figure that out with the wifey?
The plan is to not tell her.
I hope she doesn't listen to the podcast.
Well, good. Yeah. Well, if she's like my wife, she doesn't listen
I
to
was
the
joking about
podcast,
with
so
Shirey earlier. I don't remember how we got on the subject, but it was like something about that, like somebody finding information. I was like, well, it's not like you're listening to it. Like you never know. She's like, you're right. I would never listen to that shit. I was like, okay,
Oh.
nice.
And
Guys, real quick, before we get too deep into the podcast here. Today, sort of a spur of the moment thing, I was invited to the 20th Century Fox lot to see Joe Trapanese conduct the orchestra for the Oblivion score.
Oh, nice. M83, right?
Yeah, it's the guy from M83, and the other guy co-scoring is Joe Trapanese, who did the Tron Uprising soundtrack and the Tron Legacy soundtrack. I've mentioned him on the show before.
Awesome. I'm jealous, truly.
It was pretty amazing. I mean, I was expecting, just because of the way that music software has sort of advanced, I mean, I just figured, like, you record the horns on this day and the strings on this day and synth stuff separately and all that kind of stuff, but, like, walk in and it was just like, boom, 200-piece orchestra. It was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome to see that live go down and just be in the room with all those musicians and, watching the movie on the film on the screen. We actually got to watch the very end of the movie, which we were not warned about.
Whoops.
Ouch.
But I got to tell you, it looks like the ending to a movie that I would probably really enjoy.
Really?
I know I've been on the fence a little bit about this movie, but
That's like one of my most anticipated of the year.
Well, Paul, you're like Tom Cruise fanboy number one, so.
But only for it's not a sexual thing. The guy just delivers.
I didn't imply that, but okay.
If you look at his resume of films, there's like maybe a handful that you could just biff away as crap.
Yeah.
Like the majority of his work and the people that he works with and surrounds himself with are the best in the business. And he's also, there's a reason for that. He's the highest paid actor in Hollywood. So he kind of has
even
that
now
leeway.
he is? Even now?
Even now.
Really?
Yep. I actually just checked that first story because I was like, that's still true. I don't know if that's accurate, but yep, sure enough, Tom Cruise is raking it in.
What's his going rate?
It's 20.
Wow.
And the thing is, his movies clean up overseas. Like Asia, they love themselves some Tom Cruise. So forget about, couch jumping and all the stuff that, Americans get all nasty about with Tom Cruise. Yeah. Overseas, they don't care, man. They're like, but the Tom Cruise! And they say it just like that. Like,
Paul was not doing any specific ethnicity just to be...
I just rolled all of them up into one. So if anybody's offended, everybody's offended.
He's like, it's just foreign.
It's just Native American.
Was it Paul Rudd says in Anchorman? He dated some girl. It was like, I don't know, she was Taiwanese, Japanese, I don't know, something weird.
Nice.
So, other news. Speaking of actors being able to rake in big salaries, I was reminded of how Arnold Schwarzenegger back in 2003 got $35 million to be in T3 or something crazy like that. It was some insane amount of money. Yeah, and because what I remember reading was that it was one of the biggest payoffs of all time for one movie, and it's funny what a difference a decade makes, because this past weekend, The Last Stand opened, which is ironically enough sort of the state of Schwarzenegger's career right now. The Last Stand, we talked about it in episode 3 or 4, I think, and if a movie opens and nobody comes to see it, does it really exist? I think that's the question, because The Last Stand opened in 9th place.
Really?
Which, 9th place. It's so crazy.
How the mighty have fallen. And I mean, from what I understand, the reviews were pretty decent. I mean, everybody who's seen it seems to have thought it was okay. So, what do you attribute this to? What does it say about the guy? I mean, we did a whole episode about Schwarzenegger. We did a whole thing singing his praises, and now he can't even break the top 5. What does that say?
Well, when I think of the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies that I love, I think of something like True Lies or Terminator 2. I mean, these are all James Cameron movies. These are something that are like event films. Like, this is something special that I haven't seen that I have to go see. And this movie looked like it could have been
Junior.
Yes, yeah. This looked like something anybody could have been in, and I didn't. It didn't look like a priority film.
That's true. It looks like a movie that could have or should have starred The Rock rather than Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it seems like it really feels, and I haven't seen it yet, and I am going to go see it. Just to support my man Arnie, but and honestly, the people that I've talked to, like the Arrow from John Fallon from Arrow in the Head, he loved it, and I mean, he's like a genre guy. He's like us in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's really all about like the old school throwback stuff. He lived it. He's like he's our age, so yeah. I take opinions like that more so than I would take, say, a modern critic.
Sure.
They really didn't live through that era because they don't know. They don't watch those movies the same.
Right.
But I feel that they kind of sold Schwarzenegger a little short, and they threw in all these shitty co-stars. Like, they have Knoxville. I mean, why? And Knoxville's like prominent, as if he's a co-star, like double billed with Johnny Knoxville.
Right.
They're like, it seems just like the studio did not have enough faith there, in Schwarzenegger. So they really. I guess you could say, well, good for them. They didn't. It's like, yeah, but they threw all these ingredients at Arnold to like kind of plus him up. But if you look at all of his other films, he's had goofy co-stars and stuff like that, but he's always had a very, very strong presence. But The Last Stand, the way it's marketed, it's this hodgepodge of people. There's not enough Schwarzenegger, I don't think.
So you think it failed because they didn't put Schwarzenegger front and center enough?
Nope. Wow. They started to. If you remember the first poster they released, it was, him standing there looking tough, and he was like, oh, this looks awesome.
Yeah.
And then, like, the full trailer comes, and it's like Johnny Knoxville being an idiot, and, like, all these different co-stars and all this other stuff, and it seems like they used all the worst takes of Schwarzenegger's dialogue, which, let's face it, just about every one of his movies has a couple takes where you're like, ugh. But it's like, they chose, like, all the wrong sound bites. Yeah. And then they released this Red Band trailer, which was awesome. At the week before it comes out, or like days before it comes out. It's almost like oh shit, we gotta do something. Give us a Red Band. And that was actually really cool. It has like a classic cool Schwarzenegger line at the end of it, and you're like, oh, awesome. Nobody saw this trailer.
I think it definitely puts into jeopardy a lot of the other projects that he's got in the pipeline. I mean, he's still out there talking up the new Conan movie, which I know, Paul, you're looking forward to. But I don't see how that thing gets made based on this movie's opening. That's my prediction anyway.
I don't see where the demand was for that movie anyway, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
Another Conan flick? Who cares?
well.
I'd always wanted to see the finale, the finale to what that image that they showed at the beginning of Conan, where he's sitting in the chair and he's old and like a sour, kind of a winner but a defeated guy at the same time. I always wanted to see that story. So,
well, I'm on board. I feel like 10 years ago was the time to see that story.
I don't know. I think it can be done again. The same crap applies. Make sure you got a good script. Make sure you got a good director. Blah blah blah.
Well, I read he was out there talking up The Last Stand, and they asked him about Conan. So I've got a quote from him here, and it's funny to me just because it's very. It's almost like it's very Schwarzenegger-y, exactly. So it says. Basically, he says, now it's back at Universal, and they're looking.
No. Do the voice.
It's back.
Okay, here we go. Universal Studios was the first one to do the movie with Dino De Laurentiis, and now they want to be back and do a bunch of Conan movies, but to do it really high quality, not as a B movie. Do the high quality like the first one. John Milius directed, and then Dino De Laurentiis produced. That will be ready by sometime this year. And then he
put the sword in the snow.
Thank you.
And if you believe that. And then he talks about how, like, right away he undercuts his credibility because he talks about how they're doing triplets, which is
right.
Which is the sequel to
So
Twins.
painful.
I mean, come on, like
starring Danny DeVito and Eddie Murphy, right?
Eddie Murphy.
And he trumpets having Eddie Murphy as like this huge asset. So we've got Eddie Murphy coming in. It's going to be spectacular.
Yeah.
Like no,
It's almost like he
not.
just woke up from cryogenic freeze or whatever, and just like, yeah, Eddie Murphy, right?
He's like living Demolition Man. He wasn't even in it.
Yeah.
So that's Arnold's career is not looking so great. But speaking of careers not doing so great, I'm sure you guys read the piece in the New York Times a few weeks ago, which is titled "Here is what happens when you cast Lindsay Lohan in your movie."
Yeah.
This is a fascinating piece of journalism. Truly,
it really is. We don't do the gossip thing on this show. We don't really spend a lot of time talking about Lindsay Lohan's various run-ins with every form of law enforcement imaginable and whatnot. But I mean, this is one of those stories where we just had to bring it up because she essentially broke Paul Schrader in a way that I don't think we can put the pieces back together.
I don't know. Paul Schrader was already broken.
Yeah. So
I think she helped compound his flailing career.
Yeah. So before we get too much into that, a little bit of a summary of the story. So essentially, Paul Schrader, who's of course he wrote
Raging Bull,
Taxi Driver?
A Taxi Driver. Yeah, I mean, a true, in terms of his writing, he did some of those memorable movies of all time, and as a director, he's less memorable. But I mean, he's not a bad director, I don't think, necessarily.
Light Sleeper.
What's that?
Light Sleeper. I love that movie.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Unsung hero, truly. No, I'm serious. I love Light Sleeper. It's a great movie.
Well, he did. I think his last major effort was the Exorcist prequel, right?
Yeah.
And
before that, he did Affliction with Nick Nolte.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. He did do
which
that.
was
That's
a pretty
right.
big hit too.
He did do that. That's right. So his career's been on the outs a little bit. So he put together this movie called The Canyons, which stars James Dean. That's Deen, who is a porn star. And for some godforsaken reason, he got Lindsay Lohan to play the female lead. And this is like a micro budget Kickstarter funded movie. And she just brought the Lindsay. And so you read this article on the New York Times, and I mean, it's just like you said, Paul. It's this fascinating deconstruction of how this woman rolled in like a hurricane and just demolished this production.
Yep.
And what I guess what my question at this point, and this goes out to all of you, is how does one do that? Like to me, I remember 5-6 years ago, she was on magazine covers. She was hailed as a talent.
Right.
And I mean, what happened here? And Brian, were you at Fox at the time that she was in Just My Luck?
Yeah, I was there actually when she was screen testing with actors to be the lead guy.
Chris Pine, right?
I totally forgot about that movie.
He was he was the guy who ended up doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I don't have super good gossip, but I just know that she was not polite.
Really?
And yeah, she even back then would say sort of asides, and after make a point of after kissing him during takes, yell cut, people were trying to say cut, and she would be like, ugh. Backing away from him, and he's like, "Yeah, your life's tough, Chris Pine."
I'm sure most girls would hate kissing Chris Pine.
Yeah,
That was before he was Chris Pine, though.
Yeah,
true.
He's still a fine-looking gentleman.
Yeah, come on, Sean.
Let's get with it.
I'm not denying it.
No, but it is funny how she's gone from that. Yeah, I mean, she was a draw, she was a name, and now she's an oddity.
Yeah,
like having
An
her in this
oddity,
movie
yeah.
she's an oddity. Like that's the draw, is seeing this mess in a movie, and like, what's that going to look like?
yeah. Well,
And I mean, I was just going to say, and the big news this week too is that the film was rejected by Sundance and South by Southwest.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
going to bring that up. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just rejected everywhere. Like
Yeah.
they can't get the film to nobody will watch it.
wow.
Yeah, and it was for quote quality issues.
Well, I saw like they released a scene last week.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it's like she gets a phone call that she's trying to keep secret from the guy, and it looked terrible.
Yeah,
I
really
mean,
did.
the performances were whatever. Even the staging and everything, it just seemed very. It seemed like something that, like, if you work at a local public access station and you just film
Yeah.
on the weekend, you get the
did.
cameras. Yeah,
it did. Yeah,
yeah. It's
Yeah.
Welcome to the vintage times.
Today
that's for
we're
4 people
going
out
to
there.
talk about Lindsay Lohan in her new movie with Paul Schrader.
I love it.
So
Paul, what happened?
well, to me, Brian. What you're telling me is it's a testament to the old be careful who you piss off on your way up, because you got to pass them on your way down. Because
Yeah.
I mean, where's Chris Pine now, and where is she?
Well, and it's interesting too because Lifetime, did that Liz and Dick movie about Elizabeth
and she
Taylor.
was a
and
nightmare
they-
on that too. She was a nightmare on that too.
Nightmare on that, and they invested a lot in that.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of advertising. They thought that was really going to be a thing, and it wasn't. And was she worth it? Like, no. And was she worth it on this movie? Remains to be seen, I suppose, but probably not.
Yeah.
So it's like, will anybody? Like I said, she's an oddity. Is she even worth having as an oddity anymore if she's not even going to get you viewers?
So even with her Scary Movie 5 cameo,
Right.
there was problems with that too. She tried to get out of it. They were gonna threaten her with legal action if she didn't film her. Like, it was like a 2-day cameo
That's something.
with Charlie Sheen, and she threw
Dude,
a fit.
that trailer was poo, by the way.
What?
Scary
It's
Movie
gonna
5.
be probably one top 5 of the year.
Oscars.
I'm not even gonna go there. I didn't want to waste my breath on that.
So the Oscar nominations, actually, very, very briefly, just because we did touch on that just now. Do you guys have any thoughts on any of the Oscar noms? Do you feel something got nominated that should have been, or something got missed that shouldn't have been?
Well, I still haven't seen Beasts of the Southern Wild, and I've had people telling
Nobody
me since
has.
July that I need to see that.
Yeah, nobody has really.
Yeah, and I mean the people who have seen it seem to really like it, and I was always meaning to catch it, and then I was really surprised that this is like a first-time feature director, and all the actors are not actors. It's
Yeah.
a
I think
really
the
interesting
people that
film
have
to be
seen it
nominated.
don't exist either.
What's that?
I don't even think the people that have supposedly seen it exist.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not kidding. I don't personally know one person that's seen that movie.
Oh, really?
Including you guys, because none of you have seen it either.
No,
Yeah.
And this is a movie film podcast,
that's true.
and nobody's seen it.
I know, for shame, yeah.
And many of us work in some way, shape, or form, or directly in the industry, and nobody's seen it. So
Well, I do know someone who's seen it, so now you are 2 degrees or 1 degree removed.
snap. I want a picture of. Get that person on the phone right now.
Yeah.
Brian's gonna like pull up a sock puppet. Yeah.
Yeah. We have the Blu-ray in our house. Does that count?
Oh, nice.
Do you guys ever think we're gonna reach a point where they nominate a superhero movie for Best Picture?
No.
Well, they got close, man. Dark Knight, they got close. That
I was gonna say with Dark
If
Knight.
they weren't going to nominate Dark Knight for Best Picture, I mean, that's probably your best contender in terms of a
Yeah.
film that's kind of all-encompassing in terms of Oscar caliber.
Ghost
And if
Rider,
they won't
Spirit
even
of
nominate
Vengeance,
that,
what are you talking about?
I'm hoping Nick Cage will somehow get a last-minute nod. They lost some ballots or something.
He missed out because his jelly bean eating from the
Oh,
the
God.
wine glass. I eat jelly beans because I'm conflicted.
This is gonna be a great scene. The audience is really gonna connect with this.
We have to find the treasure. That's my Nicolas Cage. That's my go-to.
For the record, I love Nicolas Cage, even as crazy as he is.
I
he's
think I see pictures. I saw the poster for a new Nicolas Cage movie, which for the life of me I can't remember the title, and it looks
that.
like a fake movie, like we were talking about last time with like fake posters for movies that you see. And I can't even remember what it is.
Is it with him and Nicole Kidman?
That's on Netflix.
Trespass, I think it's
Trespass.
Yeah.
That might be the one actually. now
That's
that-
next to the Xerox machine at my work, and I have to look at that poster every single day. I'm like, of all the posters you had to put by the Xerox machine.
Reminder of some crap that was made. We made this, so you're gonna look at it every day when you come over here to remind you
That's
what your job is.
yeah, but for me the biggest omission was Ben Affleck not getting nominated for best director.
Yeah.
I thought.
I think between him and Catherine Bigelow were the two biggest snubs, and obviously I'm very
Yeah, I mean, I would
heated
say
already about the whole Catherine Bigelow thing, with Academy voters openly lobbying against her being included. Just complete bull.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Paul?
I mean, I wrote a whole column on it. I mean, it's obviously I was talking about it with some guys on Facebook, and I was like, man, this is so asinine and so outside the box, where somebody is trying to use a film as a means of pushing their political means, which isn't the first time that's ever happened, but this time they're actually doing it to block somebody from getting recognition in their own recognition system.
Just for context, what's happening here is that, and I mean, it's not even like a prominent person, right? It's some guy who happens to be in the academy, right?
David, oh my god, I can't think of his last name, and I probably never will again. He was an actor on 30 something, and he's been in some obscure other crap. I don't even know how he's a Academy voter,
Okay.
but he's a very active, like, political activist weirdo, basically. Like there was something where he dressed up as the Ghost of Christmas Past at a court hearing and showed up as that. And, like, he's just one of those weirdos, like. It's a strange dude, but anyways, he's rallied people to his cause that most of them haven't even seen the film,
right.
and are like, we can't vote her in. This movie says that torture is good, even though if we get to it and we're going to discuss it, it absolutely does not, and there's proof in the movie that it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah, we talked about that last episode.
We did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got that, but I mean, you talked about the scene where the analyst brings in the file that says it's been there all along,
Right.
and that was the thing that led them to the courier in Zero Dark 30.
Right.
None of it came from, the torture, which isn't to say we could get in a long debate about that. I know you already discussed it, but which isn't to say that couldn't have. But I don't work for the CIA, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, just to put a button on that conversation. I mean, I think what I said last time is pretty much what you bring to the film is what you'll get out of it. So if you've got a mindset that it promotes torture, you'll get that. Because I think the film is just studiously neutral.
Oh, I absolutely agree, and I think you hit the nail on the head with that too. Is that unfortunately, if you come in and you have a bias one way or the other, you can easily turn that movie in your favor, whichever side of the fence you fall on.
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's kind of the sad aspect that people can't go in and just watch the film because it's presented in a way that you can.
Right.
But people with agendas are going to use that film continuously to push their cause, and
Well-
that's a sad, sad thing.
Well, it's like I did a post on my site called "Tweeting While Stupid," where I was commenting on how people just get on Twitter and just say whatever idiotic thing they want to say, and I was commenting on how there was an article that I saw of
Twitterettes.
of people's reactions to seeing Zero Dark 30. And here, let me pull up some of these tweets. Yeah. Tanner Bridges says, Zero Dark 30 makes me want to shoot at Arabs with assault rifles. Colton,
He is helping no causes anywhere.
Colton Wingrove, Zero Dark 30 makes me hate Muslims. Oh, here we go. OMG, Zero Dark 30, best movie ever. Have a whole new hatred for Muslims. and a whole new appreciation for Navy SEALs. And it's like, okay, well, I'm glad those are mutually exclusive.
Well, remember when Titanic was re-released in 3D and people were tweeting, like kids were like, "This really happened? Like, just found
Yeah.
out Titanic's a true story."
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing with Twitter. I mean, this sentence has said too much, but it's true. Like any idiot
Yeah.
has a microphone now.
Yep.
So it's
Yeah.
just
Oh,
it's
certainly.
almost
Like
like you
us.
give too much. Yeah, well, it's true. But I mean, it's almost like we give too much credit to people that really deserve not to have any credit at all.
Yeah.
I don't give them credit. And and there's a flip side, the same, like the comments you have, like the anti-Semitic comments, stuff like that. You have the same thing from the opposite side too.
Yeah, I
is,
agree.
This movie, it promotes torture and it's pro-government and it's pro-military, rah rah rah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I was in the military, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
You're bringing your people pull it out themselves and they're like, this movie is proof positive that torture is bad. I'm like,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yes.
and I think that's exactly what we're saying. It's like pretty much whatever baggage you bring in with you, you're gonna take that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean,
now
I-
that you know and you've listened to this podcast, you know better. You can go and enjoy
Well,
it.
I mean, I can speak to my own experience because I was sitting. We went to a screening maybe like a week and a half before the movie opened, and it was me and a friend, and there were these two old ladies right next to us, and they're like whispering to each other, "This is what their religion says. It tells them to kill people." And I kind of wanted to lean over and be like, "No, it doesn't." But I figured one of them might have a heart attack or something. So we didn't do that. But yeah, no, I do think the movie's getting unfairly dogged on a little bit. I don't think it deserves that.
Well, at the same time, it's getting people to go see it, and if that's what it takes, so be it.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly, I think it's an important film. I think it's one that deserves interpretation. It's one that deserves to be seen, and I think it's eye opening in many, many ways. And I think that Catherine Bigelow, again, we're talking about the Oscar nominations. I mean, this is somebody that really constructed a story and really took great pains to not paint this one way or the other, and that takes true skill for anybody to put aside their bias and just present the facts.
Right.
That's hard. And and Brian, I heard the last week when you were talking about how you read Mark Owen's book. I also read the book, and it was great to see such a tremendously accurate recreation of at least the raid portion of the film. And I could see when I was in the theater, like when you see the SEALs, the DevGru guys going through and clearing the building, they're doing controlled pairs, what people commonly call the double tap. Shooting the bad guys, and there's people in the theater like kind of, oh my god, they shot that person while they're already dead, and it's like, for somebody that's been in very similar situations, like that's the tactics, man. Like that's how it goes, and they didn't paint it good or bad; they just painted it as it is. Like that is
Paul,
tactically sound.
You had some sort of you had some issues with the Hurt Locker.
Yes, the Hurt Locker is grossly inaccurate. The antithesis of Zero Dark 30.
Even though it's from the same director.
Is
Even
it
from
the same
director
writer as
and
well,
same
isn't it?
writer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Bowl went to Iraq, and he rode with the EOD team for like 2 or 3 weeks, and obviously got nothing out of it. it's a much longer rant, and I don't want to go down a rabbit hole on it, but the end state is that it is a fantasy fairy tale in terms of tactics and realities.
So
they paint this EOD team as guys that just do everything. They do it on their own. They report to nobody, and it destroys the film. You know,
what do you attribute the difference to from one film to the next?
Research.
Okay.
For Zero Dark 30, you had Mark Bull and Catherine Bigelow both had access to CIA personnel. You know, obviously the Senate's all in an uproar over that because they now investigating it and all that other stuff.
Right.
I guarantee you that they both had very privileged access to classified information that will never ever get out. It'll never be said. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll bury that nice and deep. But I guarantee you there were plenty of conversations like, hey, look, this is what really happened. This is how it happened, blah, blah, blah. Guarantee you. Wow. I know the people that run in those circles. I know how that information goes. And I guarantee you that's how it happened. And I think what ended up making Zero Dark 30 a success over The Hurt Locker is that they had that access to really verify that information and portray it accurately.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure there's some skewed facts in there in Zero Dark 30 too. I was never a CIA analyst or CIA agent. I was boots on the ground guy. I was a door kicker. So, the last 30 minutes of the film applies more to me than the first 2 hours.
Right.
But so I can't really speak to that in terms of my own personal experience.
I don't think I brought this up last time, but I was wondering what was the first draft of that film? Before the ending wrote itself in real life. You know what I mean?
Because they were making a totally different
They were making a
film.
different movie, that's right.
They were focusing on the Tora Bora raid, which they discuss in the movie, where Osama bin Laden got away. And that was a huge operation. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. But that was a huge operation where they had him in their sights. And as usual, Washington knuckle-dragging in terms of making a decision. He could have killed him. And that was like 2003, 2004, something like that.
So there would have been a whole different protagonist.
Totally different movie.
I wonder just from scratch. I would
that's got to be the most interesting case of like mixed feelings. Where it's like, we got Bin Laden, yeah, damn it.
I don't know, but that would be kind of exciting because then you're like, oh, wait, we get to kill Osama in the movie.
Yeah. There you
before
go.
it would have been like, it would have been a Debbie
guy.
Downer, like. Because think about what that movie would have been. It would have been they would have had to portray it as Washington dragging their feet, as they do. And you'd have the frustrated Delta guys on the ground like, oh, what, make a decision, we've got him. And then you just, he'd get away. And that would, roll credits, kind of like the hunt for Osama is still underway. But now you have, with Zero Dark 30, you have an opportunity to tell the tale from beginning to end, which I think is, again, why it's such an important film.
Yeah,
people bringing in their ugly bias.
It makes the movie more timeless in a weird way.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes it more like a piece of history.
Right.
Again, it's like a full-fledged kind of story.
Yeah.
So the old day, you could have done like the Animal House end credits. Like you start playing Louie Louie, like Sergeant So and So is now working at a 7-Eleven in Hoboken.
Did you read the script?
I don't think many Delta guys go work at 7-Eleven when they get out. But...
Osama bin Laden owns a car wash in Istanbul.
Now, Brian, you watched Silver Linings Playbook and Life of Pi, right?
I did. I'm catching up on my Oscar films. And now
I finally met somebody that's seen those movies.
Oh, for real? Wait, Zach, you've seen Life of Pi, right?
I missed it. I missed the screening, yeah.
Oh, I thought you had seen it. I see. Yeah, I mean, I've heard some pretty split reactions to it, and for me, I feel like it's almost a little too easy to compare to Castaway, but you kind of, it's inevitable because it's about a kid in a boat and you're with him alone for a very long time, and I think some people are down for that and some people aren't. And I really love Castaway, and I really enjoyed this movie too.
And it's directed by Ang Lee.
Yes, and it's very, I'm not a big 3D guy. I don't hate it. I just don't care about it. Like I'll never choose it.
Yeah.
And I saw this in 3D, and it was really, it really worked to the film's benefit. And they actually did what I've only feel like I've seen this before with Scott Pilgrim, but where they messed with the aspect ratio.
Oh, okay.
So every now and then the frame would be like 4:3, and then it'd be 16:9, and then it'd be like 2:35. And so like there's a scene with all these flying fish, going past the boat, and they would come out of the frame because the frame had shrunk. And
Cool.
yeah, it was a really good cinematic experience. It's also sort of a spiritual movie, and I don't know if some people maybe connect with that or respond to that, or some people don't. And without getting into spoilers, there's more to it than just what's on the surface, and which is interesting.
Does
And
the boy
I
tell the
enjoy it.
tiger he can't quit him?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
You know,
exchange
I read
some
the-
meaningful
I read the
glances.
book.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
read the book back in 2003, and it was I really enjoyed it. And I remember reading it, thinking, "Man, how are they going to make this movie?" And
Brad Pitt was involved at one time, right?
no, Tobey
play Pi?
Maguire was.
Tobey
I think they
Maguire.
actually filmed Tobey Maguire
Yeah, and then they
scenes,
got rid of
and then
him.
they're like, "We're too white."
For real? To play Pie?
No,
No.
no. He was the journalist.
He's the journalist. That's right.
Oh, I just heard that they did film him.
Yeah, they did.
Like,
Yeah,
but they
and then they
scrapped it
got
because he
somebody else
overshadowed.
and filmed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like,
Yeah.
what's Spider-Man doing here, right? It
It'll
would have
always
been
be Spider-Man.
It would have been too jarring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, I thought the book was great, and always wanted to see it.
Yeah, it's my wife's favorite book. So
Oh, really? All right.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Well, I thought it was
Yeah.
captivating visually, but it really did get its hooks in me emotionally
Oh,
too.
so thumbs up, Brian.
Thumbs up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
did you guys know that they actually recorded Tobey Maguire? Like they actually filmed him?
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Thanks, Sean.
This is like an SNL sketch where like Sean was hit in the head like 5 years ago, and he's like
Have
just
you guys
30
seen The
seconds
Last
behind
Stand?
every conversation, but we've just learned to like endure it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's right, Sean.
Do you know that they actually caught
30
Osama bin
seconds
Laden?
behind
Sean's
Sean.
Sean's like Brick Tamlin.
I see Dana Carvey playing Sean.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
remember they had this character, Massive Head Wound Harry. Do you remember that?
Yes. It was a lot of like scenario comedy, just like
I mean, when you think about that, it's right there. He's a character with a massive head wound. That's all. And they have
well,
a
with Sean,
dog,
we'd have to
like,
do a
eating-
sketch where we're in a bank robbery, and like it all gets like diffused, and then all of a sudden Sean's just like and then puts his hands up in the air when everything is all finished.
So Silver Linings Playbook. What's the verdict
Silver
on that?
Linings Playbook. Really dig it. Are you guys David O. Russell
Right.
fans?
Yes.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah,
Not
I
I
think-
Heart Huckabees fans, but otherwise.
Yeah, same here. Ditto. I mean, all his other movies I really, really love. Three Kings and The Fighter
The Fighter.
and Flirting with Disaster.
Three Kings and the Fighter I really enjoy.
Yeah, and this is like it's a romantic comedy. That's unfortunate that genre has to be so sullied. That term, because it's a really sweet and endearing and well done romantic comedy about two people.
Crazy people.
It's funny. When I went into it, I didn't really know exactly what it was about. I just know that Bradley Cooper played a guy who has bipolar, and he meets Jennifer Lawrence's character, who her husband has just passed away, and she's had sort of a mental shift and starting to behave in these irrational and erratic ways, and they go on this sort of journey together. And what I really enjoyed about it was, especially the Jennifer Lawrence character, with the way that she is, she could have easily been like a caricature. It's really easy for girl characters to just sort of be left alone to that. But she really felt like a person, and she completely
I'd like
deserves
to
her
feel that
nomination,
person.
for her Oscar nomination. I'm rooting for her, honestly, for that. She was really, really good.
She
And,
seems
uh,
like
She,
the
all the
favorite.
clips that I've seen, all the clips, she looks like she really, delivered. She looks like a really fun, quirky kind of character that's, a little emotionally
Yeah.
unstable. But I mean, just from the clips alone, it looks like she's really pulls it off.
Yeah,
Is-
and it's just, I mean, like all David O. Russell movies, it's like slightly, it has that feel that's slightly left of center.
Right.
And I think it's to the film's benefit, because then it takes these things that you could easily see the Katherine Heigl version of this movie.
Oh.
You know what I mean? With like, and it's
Catherine
these big
Heigl,
set
Josh
pieces. and-
Duhamel.
yeah,
Silver
exactly.
Linings Playbook.
But this movie feels more grounded, and even though it does get a slightly. My only complaint would be like
Can I-
the third act, of course, gets slightly more conventional than the rest of the film has been. So for that reason, it felt actually a little jarring, and not that the third act is not very good, but just the setup that they do to get into the third act felt a little like, oh, it didn't feel like the rest of the film. But okay, you go with it. And because you're invested in these characters, you're like, you get over it and you get into what they're involved with. But it's funny. It's really touching. Like,
does Dickie kick his drug habit at the end?
Does who?
Does Dickie kick his drug habit at the end?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
He should just have Christian Bale show up as Dickie in all of his movies.
He should be like the Jay and Silent Bob of David O. Russell's universe. Like, he just pops in and out of every... Yeah. But yeah, and this is they're making a big deal of the fact that all 4 acting categories of the Oscars, someone has been nominated from this film. Mm-hmm. And I honestly, I feel like they all deserve it. It was really good.
Does De Niro deserve it? I mean, he just looks kind of like he's playing a formulaic dad.
You know, I had heard a lot of really good things before I went into it about him. And so when I was watching it, I was expecting a little bit more. But at the same time, he does show more range and involvement, like interest, than it feels like he's shown in his past few movies. And he gets some good scenes, definitely.
I mean, he's at his best when he's... Well, I'm not at his best all the time, but when... Because De Niro, he's kind of like one of those classic actors that can, like, turn that switch and go from 0 to 100 in intensity. And he doesn't do that much anymore. So...
Well,
I think
I don't know.
He's played a lot of like stern sort of characters, like the Fokker dad, kind of a thing, and just
he's been in Fokker prison for a while.
Into that.
Yeah, like stern comedy, but in this one he actually has to show some vulnerability and in dealing and coping with the way that his son is, and I thought he did it pretty well. But I have a friend I was talking with today at lunch who she saw it and she disagreed. She thought he just sort of felt like he was phoning it in. So
he just phoned it. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Brian, have you seen Silver Linings Playbook, Brian?
Oh, hey, Sean. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I saw it. It was really good. I recommend you listen to the podcast. You'll get to hear I talk about it on there. So
tune in, or just join the conversation, one or the other.
Well played. Well played.
But yeah, recommended Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah, I definitely want to catch that, so I'm looking forward to that. Other big news that just broke today is we finally have a director for Star Wars Episode 7, and he is the director.
Brett Ratner, finally.
Getting
his calling.
If that were true, I would literally have jumped out the window.
I seriously think there would be riots on television. Like, you would see people overturning cars in the streets. Like, you would see... probably the nerds wouldn't be able to push the cars.
Yeah, they'd try.
But
they'd give it...
They'd be out there... They'd be trying like hell to push stuff over in the streets right now. They'd be very upset.
So the announced director is the guy that both Brian, you and Sean both pegged him as the best choice.
Right, the writer of Joyride.
The creator of Felicity. J.J. Abrams. He's the guy. So he's in charge of Star Trek and Star Wars now.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, I did a post on my site where I said I paraphrased a Seinfeld thing. I said he's already got the 2 big sci-fi franchises covered. Now, if he becomes interested in Doctor Who, there will be no stopping him because he's just taken over. So, to me, this is very good news because I think he's the right guy for this. I think pretty much it was between him and Joss Whedon is pretty much what the fanboy consensus seemed to be.
But it sounds like in reality it was between him and Ben Affleck.
Yeah, Affleck was heavily in the running.
That's crazy.
Apparently.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, well, and also I read on Slash Film earlier today that Matthew Vaughn was also one of the finalists. And he wanted to cast Chloe Moretz as the lead, apparently. So maybe that was the deal breaker. I don't know. But
no, it's interesting. I guess it sounds like Steven Spielberg was pushing pretty hard to Kathleen Kennedy for J.J. Abrams. So I wonder if he was a little resistant, having his being so invested in the Star Trek universe.
Well, I mean, when he was asked a while back, like back in November, he was pretty much parried it away very easily, and he's like, I love Star Wars. I just want to watch it as a fan.
Right.
It's a very heavy burden on whoever takes it. I guess that'll be me now. But
yeah,
I think he's a great choice.
I wonder if that was just kind of shenanigans on his part, or if they had to win him over?
I think they had to win. I think they were courting him.
Okay, yeah.
I think they were. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out for sure, but it feels to me like they were courting him, and he obviously he had been contacted. I guarantee you, they probably contacted a whole laundry list of people just to feel him out and see what they thought.
Yeah.
But he's a tougher sell. But I think ultimately with Abrams, you have somebody that he can bring that energy. And I think probably the biggest demonstrating point for everyone was Super 8. Even though I don't think Super 8 is a great movie,
Right.
I think it's really fun and it really brings back those old feelings of like that genre. And I think they're probably like, that's probably the clincher. They're like this guy can really get to the heart of things, and not just the big shit action stuff and all that. So,
Well, it makes me think too. You don't know, or we don't know, if John Williams will be back, and he is, I would say, 49% of Star Wars in a way. But you think if J.J. Abrams brings Michael Giacchino, I mean, he's probably the closest thing we have to John Williams right now.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting.
Well,
I would prefer to have Giacchino on Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think
I think
you're
at this
gonna do
point
it,
you have to pass the torch.
Yeah, I
totally.
agree. I agree.
Everybody loves John Williams. I'm sure Giacchino will do some kind of, he'll probably do the Star Wars theme,
Sure.
keep, many of that stuff's consistent, but with his slant. I mean, I love his Star Trek
Yeah.
score.
Well,
He did a great job bringing that to life.
both of his Mission Impossible scores have been very good too.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Completely.
But it makes
I
me
think
wonder
that
too.
will be just as exciting.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say if I mean we've seen, because when J.J. Abrams did Star Trek, this was him reinventing it. So we've seen J.J. Abrams do a space movie. Like we know what that looks like.
Yeah.
And he called it Star Trek.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder how different this film will look. Because this is a space movie by J.J. Abrams. I mean, what? You know what I mean? Like,
Well-
is he going to use a different production designer? And
My guess is that
There will be lens flares. Yes.
I wasn't gonna do the lens flare thing because it's like it's so
It's gonna get real freaking boring and tired for the next week.
Star Wars is gonna have lens flares. My guess, in all honesty, is that
Big deal.
he's gonna make Star Wars, at least this first one, and assuming he does more, but at least this first one will be as classic looking as possible.
I would imagine.
I agree. I mean, this is a guy that grew up with it, same as us, same as multitudes of fanboys. He's lived through the hate for the prequels. He's seen it all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just as we have.
Yeah.
And he's a filmmaker that loves and appreciates Star Wars. Obviously, they wouldn't hire him.
Right.
And I think that he's somebody that can recognize that and move forward. And I'm sure there's going to be some tension because this is a huge thing. Like, this is kind of a make or break thing.
Yeah.
Because if you screw this up, this movie,
right.
That's going to be a really hard thing to recover from because there's so many people are already divided over the prequels that if you deliver another Star Wars movie that's subpar,
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to really hurt the prospects of, say, another trilogy, I
Right.
think.
So you don't think people
and
will give the rope that they gave the prequel trilogy?
Give the what now?
Well, I mean,
I almost feel like if this had come right after Return of the Jedi, this would be like, who would want to take that on? But we've had that sort of buffer period of films that we haven't been crazy about. Maybe that'll help him a little bit. I don't know.
Well, but it's different, right? Because when you think about it, after Return of the Jedi, Lucas had only done Episode 4. So the idea of somebody else doing Star Wars was more the norm than not. And plus, it was back then. It was like I consider Return of the Jedi kind of a half. So it was like 2.5 out of 3 movies were pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I love Return of the Jedi. You're crazy.
I like it.
I
Don't
do
get me
too.
wrong.
Yeah, you
love
are
Return of the Jedi.
crazy.
I am
Return
crazy.
of the Jedi is my favorite of them all.
Return of the Jedi is your favorite of them all? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Well, I think that's
It is.
crazy.
I agree with Paul.
Come on now.
Everybody always sucks on the teat of Empire. Empire. Yeah. For me, growing up as a kid, Return of the Jedi had the most impact for me. This was 1983. I was like 7 or 8 years old. It couldn't have been more in my consciousness at that time. and like seeing Luke Skywalker finally, become the true hero, and he gets, daps the green lightsaber, and the battle. And when I was a kid at that time, Ewoks were awesome.
Yep.
We can go back, just like the kids that saw Episode 1 that loved Jar Jar and all that other stuff.
Right.
You got to think about the context of the time they saw it. If we all saw Return of the Jedi today as the jaded,
Sure.
Screwed up adults that we are now, we'd be like, "Oh, stupid ass teddy bear Ewoks." But when in 1983, Ewoks were hilarious and awesome, and you
completely
wanted
agree,
to cuddle
yeah.
with them and have them live at your house.
I want to live in their village. No,
So-
I was born in 1980. I didn't even know people didn't like Ewoks till a few years ago.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's for sure true. Yeah. Well,
I'll take Ewoks over Gungans any day.
Well,
Yeah.
but that's an obvious yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I had just had this conversation earlier today where somebody said that he considers Return of the Jedi the weakest of all of them, out of all 6.
No, that's-
Whatever.
And I was like,
lunacy.
well,
Smack that person in the face.
yeah, I mean, to me, I consider Jedi probably, for me personally, the weakest of the original 3, but any of the original 3 is still preferable to any of the prequels, and part of that is just nostalgia and whatnot. But regardless, so this, to me, this is good news, having J.J. Abrams doing this.
I think so. I saw a comment on one of the talkbacks. I think it was on Slash Film. I wrote his name down so I could even give him credit. It was Josh Armstrong, and he wrote, "Abrams is going to hate that this news came out before he does interviews for Star Trek Into Darkness." I was like,
Oh, so
yeah.
true. I thought that today too. Oh my god, that's so true, man. He's probably like, God, couldn't we just have waited
I
till
know.
after May to announce this? So nobody's gonna give a shit about Star Trek anymore. I'm already like ready to see the new Star Wars, and like Star Trek Into Darkness just like drop down a bit because I'm like, okay, yeah, Star Trek, but
Hurry up,
Star
start
Wars.
Star Wars.
Where's the Star
Yeah.
Wars?
Well, I think that raises a good question. What does this mean now for Star Trek?
Who cares?
I mean, does he hand over the reins of that to somebody else, or does he retain some? Like, does he do like a Mission Impossible thing where
Right.
he's still a producer and in charge creatively, but he gets Brad
Yes
Bird
to
or
that.
whatever.
I think that's what will happen.
That was the
Yeah.
thought I had. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of other great filmmakers. There's other great filmmakers that could have taken on Star Wars. Why not rope some of those guys, give them a chance at Trek, like Neil Blomkamp or Matthew Vaughn, all those same guys we were talking about for Star Wars.
Yeah,
Hand Star Trek to them. See what they can do.
yeah.
I think Abrams he kicked off the Star Trek universe great, but just because you started something or even just made another sequel, everybody's assumed like, well, you're locked in for a trilogy now, bud.
Yeah.
It's like, these people,
Why? Yeah.
they signed contracts and stuff, but guess what? They still have free will, and if an opportunity presents itself somewhere else, they can go do it.
Yeah. Well,
And
in
I
the
say all
original
the power
trilogy
to
had
him.
3 different directors, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's. I actually wasn't fully aware of. Somebody sent me a link earlier today of how Matt Reeves and J.J. Abrams are just like best buds. I didn't realize that they go so far back. Matt Reeves is doing doing Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and he also this is interesting. He did the first episode. He directed the first episode of Felicity. So he has the distinction of directing the very first J.J. Abrams TV production. But I was like, between J.J. Abrams and his like posse of people he knows, they've basically taken over sci-fi.
yeah. Yeah.
It's like it's Abrams' world that everyone's just kind of living in right now.
Yeah.
I think you found somebody that's kind of in the midpoint of their career. Think, Spielberg kind of in his heyday, starting to get into the Jurassic Park years. You have a filmmaker he's more than proven himself on past projects. And some people disagree. Some people don't vibe with Abrams. That's whatever.
Right.
But, he's perfectly suited to tackle the scope, the size of Star Wars while still bringing his own integrity and his own vision, which Abrams has. He has his own style. People always lens flare. I love lens flares.
Yeah, I do
It
too.
originated. I tell you right now, John McTiernan was doing it well before Abrams
Yeah.
was, and I loved it then, and I love it now. There's nothing wrong with some lens flares. There's actually a diffuser you can use on your lenses to get rid of them. but these guys use it intentionally because it adds that depth to your screen. I enjoy it. I don't care if it's overused or whatever. It's just their technique. It's their style.
It feels like internet geek shorthand. Like, oh, this is kind of the thing.
Totally. I've already seen the memes and everything all over with, the lens flares all over the various characters, and it's going to be so obnoxiously annoying. It already is.
What do you guys think it would look like if J.J. Abrams and Jan de Bont teamed up to make something?
It would be a blank screen.
Yeah, it would be all white, like staring into the sun.
One giant flare.
Well, since Jan de Bont is in movie prison and
I'd pay
hasn't
money for
done
that.
anything worth a crap in forever.
Well, John McTiernan is in literal prison, isn't he? So
Yeah, just about to head there.
So-
Meanwhile, Lindsay Lohan is out running over civilians and back and forth every other week, and is free,
stealing clothes and Lindsay
adding
Lohan.
nothing to film with no talent or skill. Yet John McTiernan, because he told a bad lie over a phone for the FBI.
Yeah,
he's
right.
going
Yeah,
to prison.
yeah, that poor guy.
But I didn't hit anybody with my car. I don't do drugs. I don't do... Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to make an example of you. That's really what they're doing, McTiernan. They're making an example of him.
Yeah, but you directed Rollerball.
Yes. Meanwhile, we've lost 10 years of, potentially cool McTiernan projects.
Well, I don't know. He did Rollerball, so
Did direct Rollerball.
Rollerball,
though, dude.
and don't leave out Basic, which is also a travesty.
Basic. Yeah.
And that's exactly it. That's what those are the last two films on his resume. Everything before that, in my opinion, was awesome. Now,
and Basic was 10 years ago exactly, right? It was 03.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Jeez. So that's fun. Sean, any thoughts on anything?
Oh, you mean my commentary?
or if you want to chime in on anything we said 5 minutes ago, Did you hear they announced a director for Star Wars?
it's Brett Ratner.
I did have something that I was working on that started off as a blog entry. It happened after I saw Wreck-It Ralph, so this was actually a few months ago, and we've sort of touched on it, and Brian has even mentioned in one of his commentaries in an earlier episode about how, like if we know too much, we sort of live in a culture now where like we know too much about movies going into things, so it almost makes it impossible to like things.
I never said that. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
But if you'll allow me, I'm just gonna sort of read what I had started writing and then just open it up to a brief discussion.
Yeah.
All right, so story time. Here we go. All right. It was a Thursday afternoon, a work day to boot. A darkened theater was illuminated, revealing yours truly basking in the inspired glow of the preceding 2 hours of cartoony goodness. Wreck-It Ralph was a charming, thoughtful, purely wonderful accomplishment, bursting at the seams with the love and care of the storytellers that brought the tale to life. It reinvigorated my thirst for storytelling, and it proved that a great idea can be perfectly executed if given the chance. It was a triumphant cinematic escape in the truest sense of every term, that when the credits rolled, it sent one word and one word alone to the forefront of my think organ: yes. Now, before you go tripping over the word-heavy pipe I just laid down, I must explain that my colorfully written introduction illustrates a point of great importance of what will soon follow. Very rarely does a film steal not only your attention, but your heart as well, and return it to you in better shape than it was. Wreck-It Ralph was such an experience for me. And though it was a free employee screening on the Disney campus, I felt guilty for not having paid because of what I received in return. But then something happened. An opportunity presented itself, an opportunity for payback for the besieged, and comeuppance for the snooty of heart. As I floated on my happy cloud to my second-story office, I overheard some fellow members of the animation employed engaged in a surprisingly heated discussion as to the creative merit and the importance of the film that had just jolted my inner goodness so commendably. Now, imagine the douchiest sounding art school douche and the douchiest of douche twang. Now multiply by 3. Douche number 1.
Douche.
Douche number 1. I don't know. The movie was okay, I guess. I mean, they really missed the boat in a lot of ways. Douche number 2. Yeah, I totally know what you mean. I don't know what all the hype is with this movie. What they should have done is blah 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 blah. Douche number 3.
Douche number 3.
Well, there's
Douche
three
number
douches.
3. Wreck-It Ralph made me hate Muslims.
Douche number 3. I don't know, guys. I kind of liked it. Douche number 1. What? Seriously? Why? It was at that moment that I stopped hearing actual words. every ounce of happy juice had just evaporated through my pores,
This is getting pornographic.
and I was suddenly annoyingly enraged. I chose not to confront, I chose to walk away. Opinions are opinions and peoples is peoples. Different strokes for different folks, as the Pilgrims used to say. But the specific example...
Strokes and happy juice have been mentioned in this story. I just want to bring that to light.
But the specific example of douchebaggery cited above was spite filmed and from a place of jealousy. I say that with the utmost certainty because I'm familiar with the individuals in question, both personally and by reputation.
I hope you don't listen to the
We're
podcast.
about to get sued, I feel like.
It was a demonstration in how greatness can arouse praise in some and pettiness in others. I chose to be inspired, and they chose to be aggravated. I'm almost done here. The impact of that moment sent a tizzy of titillating emotion.
Titillating.
There
To
you
your
go.
happy juice.
Titillating emotion typhooning through my insides. Contemplations I have just now fully dissected and put into words.
Are you reading 50 Shades of Grey right now?
Dear Penthouse.
Earlier, I foreshadowed a story about payback and comeuppance. Well, here it comes, in the form of words let loose into the universe. Hopefully, by the time they reach you, they will have formed into coherent sentences or stimulating fragments of ideas. So I hereby proclaim that it is okay to like something. Let me rephrase that. It is okay to admit that you like something. Or perhaps I should say it's okay to allow yourself to like something. Now, it's a vague declaration to describe an intangible element in our culture. But this is where I start to get a little soapboxy. So what do you guys think? Have the trends in entertainment and advances in social media, which just brings out the worst in people, just sort of our overall social culture, I guess, are we programmed to the point where it's hard to like something? Like, can anything be good enough?
Well, I think, when I like a film or I want to recommend a film, nothing is perfect. Like, every film has flaws. And it's like you almost feel like you have to bring up those flaws just to prove that you knew that they were there, even though you really love the film. And I find that a lot when I'm talking to movies with people, especially people who are really into movies, because then if I don't bring it up, they're going to be like, yeah, but. I'm like, no, I know. This thing didn't work. The third act, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But I like the movie. So it just feels like it's just very easy to first start talking about the things that didn't work. And especially in, podcasts or reviews or, again, just talking to people, especially, I think, film-oriented or centric people. Those are, for some reason, the things that we're drawn to first to bring up, rather than just like, you know what? I love that movie. The end.
Right.
You know what? I think you have to look at it in the context, too, Sean, of where you saw this movie and who you saw it with. You saw it with people working in the industry.
Right.
And people that work in the industry watch these movies and see these movies in very, very different and skewed ways than your average guy that goes to the theater. And the majority of people that I've seen, and I saw Wreck-It Ralph twice, walking out of the theater, everybody was ecstatic.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anybody moaning and groaning or saying, oh, that was a piece of crap. Everybody's like, that was great. Even Shirey loved it. Very much so. I see like the general public really seem to enjoy it. I think what you have is there's like this culture of movie geeks, much like us, that, do have very strong opinions and look at movies in a very, very different way. A lot of times, in the environment where I work in, when I'm not working, for Joe Blow, I deal with regular, everyday people, and they almost hate asking me about movies and stuff because they know they're going to get more than they bargained for. And I get that. Like, I totally get it. And on the social media note, I think it actually helps people to express how they actually feel about movies rather than hinder. I don't think there's the pressure to perform or to say a certain thing or be a certain way. I think with like Facebook and like the Facebook groups that we have, I think it opens it up so that people can really truly express how they feel and really throw it out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I've seen that often. I mean, even just now, Zachy's like, you like Return of the Jedi best? Guess what, Zachy? Yes. I love Return of the Jedi more so than New Hope and Empire. And I'm fine with that. And I'm fine that you may not be fine with that. So I think I totally see like where your frustration's coming from. I can see myself sitting there only not masturbating to Wreck-It Ralph because I wouldn't do that. But I could totally see you being frustrated with people that didn't get it. But at the same time, I think you have to look at it in the context of who you're seeing it with. I mean, those types of individuals, detestable as they may be, they're really just a product of the system.
Right.
And you, fortunately, are somebody that, you know, are in the system, but you see things, at least in my opinion, because we're like-minded in that sense, you know, you see things correctly.
Right. I appreciate
if that.
that.
Sounds right.
And it's not like I'm wanting you guys to come to my defense or that I was rushing to the defense of the movie. You're like, hey guys, you don't like this movie, you're mean, you know. No, but yeah, you're right. It's you know, we do all sort of work in the industry in some way, shape, or form, and we do know so much about these movies, you know, before they're even made. And so we're sort of immersed in this movie geek culture that you know, sort of hard to separate ourselves.
Yeah, it makes me think of what Zachy brought up last episode with Gangster Squad.
I was about to bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have not heard any good thing about that movie, and I've not seen it, so I have no opinion on it. But I've heard very bad things about that movie. But then Zachy was saying in his screening that was like one portion critics, but the rest was just regular
Right, the
audience.
applause,
There was like
yeah.
cheers and applause, you
Yeah.
know, and enthusiasm for it.
Well, I mean,
Over
you
things
look at
that Zachy
movies-
thought was obvious. So
Yeah.
it's just perspective, I guess.
Yeah, totally. And you see that all the time. Like, I mean, how many franchises are out there where you're like, how do they keep making these damn movies?
Yeah.
Somebody's going to see them, and somebody loves them.
Right.
I see a couple people like in my Facebook feed, you know, that are like your average moviegoers. But a lot of these average moviegoers, they watch movies probably more than I do. You know what I'm saying? Like but they watch everything.
Right.
I don't have time for that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I see like, just watch the new Tyler Perry. It was freaking hilarious.
Right.
Loved it. And I'm like, what? Why are you on my Facebook friend
Defriend.
list? Who said this? You know what I'm saying? But there's these people out there love those movies, and you know, for us, you know, we scoff at that, and you know, like Twilight, we could go down that road, which is just atrocious. Oh my
Right.
god.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's $1 billion franchise.
Right.
You know, we can try and throw that into, oh, it's just teenage girls. It's like, it ain't just teenage girls going to see that movie or movies.
Right.
You know, you don't make that kind of money just for like teenage girls. They throw a lot into the pot, but that's not the only ones going to see it. So I mean, there's a market for everything
Yeah.
in that sense, and I think that, you know, everybody gets the perspective. There's a price to be paid for being a movie geek, and that is that you are immersed in the culture of it. You know way more, too much, in fact,
Right.
of the process, the industry, and your expectations are going to be so vastly different than your average moviegoer that it's never going to be the same again. It's like you cross the line once you become a movie geek, a true movie geek.
Well, and I mean, to that point, I think Sean, part of your reaction might be the fact that you aren't as plugged in as a lot of people are, in the sense that you've said on this show how you make an effort not to read movie news sites and watch trailers and things like that. So I mean, that might be part of it too, where you've made an active choice to be passive when it comes to a lot
Right.
of it.
But who I associate myself with, you know, I can't help but be privy to some of this information. But I'm wondering too, and this goes for all of us, you know, how much of it is that we sometimes get jealous about?
Yeah, I was
going
going to bring that up. I think especially if you're at some sort of like industry event, I think there's a lot of, well, I would have done this, or
Yeah, exactly.
that goes around. And I think you know, all of us here have like done entertainment related projects, right?
Right.
But I think the difference is that we sort of have this attitude where it's like we want to coexist with the great stuff out there. We don't feel like, you know, the things that we create is better than anything. You know, and I think a lot of people are like, they think their stuff, if their stuff hasn't made it and someone else has, then like they're losing or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, then they
Well,
instantly
that's a
hate
natural.
the other things that are out there, when it's just like, you know, there's a place for all of this stuff to coexist.
Right.
So I think it's an attitude.
It's true. It's like that goes down to your base human level stuff. You know, you hear somebody succeeds. Oh, they're gonna do this. They're on this film. Brian Hall, he's working on this new film with Louis Leterrier. Yeah, this guy did Incredible Hulk. Like, Screw that guy. I
Right.
hate him.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I don't really feel that way. I think it's truly
I
great
do,
that,
Brian.
like, all of you guys, everybody here has, like, done something significant, you know, based on from where we've come from. And granted, none of us are directing Star Wars. That's cool. I can't remember
Yet.
any of us ever saying that that was our dream to begin with, so that's fine. But everybody here has chased the dream and continues to chase the dream, and I think that's enough. You know, maybe we all, you know, get somewhere, maybe we don't. Who knows? But I mean, the bottom line is we're all still crawling through the thick mud to get there.
Right.
And I think, honestly, that the jealousy thing is just a natural, base human level kind of thing. You feel that tang, that twinge of it, and some people can let it pass, and some people, I mean, they just hold on to it like,
Right.
you know, a man trying to breathe underwater.
That's deep, man.
I was really looking for it.
analogy
You were like,
ever.
hold on to it like, and I was like, yes. What's the analogy
Bring
going to
it
be?
home. Bam!
Nice. Okay, so thanks for that commentary, Sean. I think
Yeah, that was a good one.
that led to some
There's
interesting.
a lesson.
I
like
just
stuff.
next time
Like
less
more
pornographic.
stuff.
Yeah, I know. Next time, no more happy juice and
Happy juice, stroking, titillating. I'm gonna
titillating
be
your
looking
happy
at porn
juice.
after this podcast is over. Porn of Wreck-It Ralph. I'm sure it's out there. I'll find it. It's the internet.
I'll find
It's
it.
there.
Paul?
Yeah.
I'm doing it right now. You guys don't even see.
Wreck-It Ralph.
I was doing it while he was reading. Wreck-It Ralph.
I-
That could translate into a good porn. You don't
Yeah.
even have to change the name. Wreck-It Ralph.
you really-
What's he gonna wreck? Take a guess.
Oh no.
Some ass.
Oh boy. Good times. So a couple trailers. Our headline section went over a little bit, but we do have some Hollywood. We do have some trailers to talk about. First up is The Evil Dead.
There was something in the woods. And I think it's in here with us now.
I read a passage from that book. I released some evil.
Okay, Paul, what are your thoughts on the Evil Dead remake?
Are we talking about the Red Band trailer or the new Green Band trailer? Did you guys already?
Well,
I saw the most recent, which I think is the Green Band trailer. I have
Yeah.
not seen the Red Band trailer.
Same here.
You haven't seen? Oh my god!
I had to log
the
into
Red
Yahoo
Band
or YouTube to do it. And I was like, no.
You need to see the Red Band trailer. Honestly, I think the Evil Dead is going to surprise the hell out of people.
Why do you say that?
I'm really not. I'm not really into the horror genre very much.
Right,
like
me
it's
either.
really just not my thing. I appreciate it, and I do have some movies that I think are cool that are horror movies, and I do love the original Evil Deads and Army of Darkness. I feel that this is so vastly different
Right.
because it's not the campy Sam Raimi style. It's like a straight version of Evil Dead, and if you watch the Red Band trailer, it is spooky as hell. And I'm gonna tell you, I still have the image in my head of Jane Levy with her demon eyes. I can see it right now in my head, and it freaks me
Under
out.
the floor?
I'm not
When she's-
joking. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she's under the table, she's like, "We're gonna get you." I mean, even just now, I just got
Yeah,
a chill down my
it's
spine. And I've had people shoot at me before and try to blow me up. So that alone right there is very freaky. And I think that like the approach that they've taken is the producers, which are Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, they've looked at Evil Dead and they're like, you know what? People are going to give us so much crap for trying to remake this. You know it's coming. And they're very aware of the legacy they have. And I think that they've actively pursued to not, in any way replicate what was and create something new, something entirely different. And I think from the looks of it, I think they may have done it. I'm actually going to go see it in the theater. And that's really just not my bag, but I'm not going to miss it.
Yeah.
It looks freaky as hell.
Yeah, but I think the campiness of the original sort of worked in its favor, where it's like you need the sour to appreciate the sweet. You needed those sort of lighthearted moments, that the lighthearted element, to earn the scares, for that stuff to really pay off. And like you guys, this isn't really my genre, but just looking at this trailer, they're going this straight up, just gross out horror, freak show kind of whatever vibe. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't really stand apart from, Texas Chainsaw, whatever number, or any of the other stuff out there.
Now, Sean, you're a fan of at least Army of Darkness, right?
Yeah, no, I love all three.
Okay, so you're kind of feeling hinky about the remake.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just like, why call it Evil Dead? Why not just make it what it is?
Now, I'm not familiar at all. Maybe Paul, maybe you can help me out here. So is there an Ash character?
There's not somebody named Ash. No.
Okay, so there it's kind of just.
But there'll be homages. I mean, there's the chainsaw will be in there, but there's not going to be Ash jumping in the sky, screaming with the chopped off hand and catching a chainsaw midair.
Gotcha.
And it's going to be very, very straight, deep horror. I haven't seen any of Fede Alvarez's previous films, but it's my understanding that he is a good, solid genre horror director.
What else has he done?
I don't know. I've never seen. He's fairly new. I believe he's a Spanish filmmaker, so I think he's done a couple, foreign films that were very impressive to Sam Raimi and them that caused him to be hired.
Right.
So,
Brian, what do you think of the trailer?
I just looked up the director. I'm seeing what else he did. He did looks like all short films actually. Yeah, everything that I see here on his IMDb page is short films. One's called Panic Attack. Los Posilios.
Ah, Los Posilios, yes.
Yeah. No, I have to repeat what all you guys said, where this isn't really my genre, so I'm not even going to pretend like my opinion really matters on this. But at the same time, I felt actually different than what Sean said. I felt like it looked better put together and better realized than most of the horror movie of the weeks that we see.
Yeah, I agree.
They come out opening weekend and then they drop off and no one ever hears them again. And usually have a title. It's like the fill in the blank,
Right.
like the ghost inning,
Yeah.
The ghost inning.
scare inning, and the horror inning. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's just like, and then they go away. The apparition. I think that actually is a real one. And there was something about it that looked a little better realized, and it looked scary, and it looked like composed. It actually looked sort of composed, like the with the girl whispering. I saw the Green Band trailer, so I don't know if it's in the same one, but it's this girl sort of whispering something to this guy, and I was ramping up with the tension with it. So,
Right.
like I said, I think if people want to go in and get scared and see something that's a little better than maybe you're just Chainsaw Massacre 2013,
Yeah, I think if it was a Texas Chainsaw movie, or if I felt that it looked that way, I mean, I would never go see that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so for me,
I
to
thought it
actually
looked a
say
step
I'm going to
above
go see
that.
this in the theater, I mean, that's kind of a big thing for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't really go to horror movies. It's
Yeah,
kind of like
I'm
a
with you.
throwaway to me.
Yeah.
So, but with Evil Dead, I'm like, my interest is peaked. I'd actually really like to go to a midnight screening where there's lots of like screaming teenagers just to like be around those reactions. I think that would
Right.
be really fun.
Yeah, it's funny, Paul, that you talked about not being a
Screaming
fan,
teenagers.
but appreciating them, because I had the same conversation with my brother yesterday where I said the same thing. I was like, I'm not a fan, but I appreciate the fact that they are so popular and that they're it says something about society and whatnot. I mean, the fact that you can put out a Paranormal Activity number, whatever, and people will show up and watch them. And these flicks have longevity as series far beyond you see with other franchises, which again, it's not for me necessarily, but I mean, I think it's worth noting that you can get 8 or 9 Saw movies and people show up to all of them or whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, there's another I just saw Last Exorcism 2 trailer.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
And
right.
I was just like, why?
So,
Right.
Right.
so not
People
quite
are
the
gonna go
last
see it. I
Exorcism.
guarantee you.
Not quite. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next to last.
Just the Last Exorcism. Just one more. So it should be at the very
Almost
bottom.
last. That's funny. Yeah. Other trailers, we have Red 2, which brings back Bruce Willis and John Malkovich, and Helen Mirren is back too. Here, let's play some of that.
Frank, what are you doing here? Kimasabi, I need you. They're coming. I can feel it.
Look, I'm retired, okay? I'm happy. We are happy.
You haven't killed anybody in months.
That's a positive thing.
If it makes you feel better, bring the girl.
Not bringing the girl.
Don't bring the girl where?
Please tell me that's a stick of dynamite in your pocket.
I'm saving it for emergency.
Well, this is kind of an emergency, isn't it?
So I liked the first Red a lot more than I thought I would. I went in pretty much not expecting anything, and I ended up enjoying it quite a bit. So I feel like this trailer seems to promise more of what the first one had.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
I remember, for me, the first one being more enjoyable for, like, the novelty
Yeah, I agree with
of
that.
it, like having those actors, but it never really crossed over into anything that I really cared about.
I would agree with that.
Like, I don't remember really caring about anybody or what was really going on. It
Yeah.
was just more fun seeing Helen Mirren with, like, a
Machine gun, yeah.
Right. So it's just, I don't know. So I felt kind of the same about this.
Yeah.
It's like if I caught it, I'm sure it'd be amusing again, but I don't know that I need to see it again.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much, yeah. I mean, for me, it's like I watched Red and I'm done with it. And I kind of had, like, the same reaction to, like, Jack Reacher, right? Where it's like, I liked it. I don't feel any great need to watch it again, but I don't mind seeing the sequel, you know?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel exactly the same as you guys. I saw Red and I was like, that was better than I thought it was going to be, but it's not a movie that I was like, man, I need to get that on Blu-ray. I'm going to watch that. If I never see Red again, I won't have any issue with that.
Right.
You know, it was, and that's not
Well,
to say it
that
was
said,
bad.
then Red 2, if it looks like more of the same, are you saying then? No
I
need?
will watch Red 2 on Netflix.
Yeah.
or on Blu-ray, or maybe I'll rent it if, like, the reviews are good. If the reviews are terrible, I'll definitely wait till I can watch it for free. I won't go to the theater to see it unless, like, the reviews are like, this is the second coming of Bruce Willis. No, for real, seriously.
Sean,
But otherwise, forget it.
did you see the first Red, Sean?
Not all the way through. I saw part of it on an airplane, but I was entertained with what I saw. I think with this trailer, it sort of made me feel like, am I officially old now?
Really?
Yes.
Well, you are, yeah. We all are.
Yeah, and I saw this trailer, and my first thought was like, this is a movie my parents would like. But then it's like, no, I want to see this movie.
Wait a minute. Well, it's just, it's a little jarring when you realize that now Bruce Willis is in, like, the old man roles.
Yeah.
And I guess it's been that way for a while, but, like, I'm seeing it much more pronounced now because Die Hard, the new Die Hard is really foregrounding the fact that he's kind of an old coot now.
Right.
And then he's basically, you know, the old G.I. Joe in G.I. Joe
Right,
Retaliation, you know. So that's a little.
But you know what? He's not exactly like Clint Eastwood, you know,
Right.
dragging ass. I mean,
Yeah.
he's still a pretty active guy.
Well, what
he's
is
not
he?
like
Clint Eastwood's got a dragon ass? Cool.
shoots flames out of it.
I knew it.
No, but you know, like, you see Clint Eastwood walking, and you're like, this dude could kill over at any minute. It's almost over.
kinda
Like, if
true.
you saw Clint Eastwood jumping off of a building with a fire hose tied around his waist, you'd be like, that dude's dead.
He's gonna break in half.
He's gonna slam into the window, and he's gonna die.
Dude,
But Bruce Willis could still pull that
I
off.
thought he was gonna keel over walking in Trouble with the Curve. You know, just.
I think most people keeled over after watching that
Yeah,
movie.
that was me. Yeah, I was very angry after I watched that movie.
So you're the one that caused it to make $8.
I didn't pay, man. I watched a press.
Also somebody else.
I watched a press screening, so they didn't get my money.
Oh god.
But I was angry.
Bruce
after.
Willis is 58 years old, by the way.
58.
58?
Yeah.
Oh, looks good for his age, no doubt.
Wow.
Bruce is 58.
Yeah.
He
Born in
doesn't look it at all.
1955.
He looks great for his
He is.
age. Yeah.
He really does. I mean, he could pass for 40.
Well, when you think about it, I mean, Bruce Willis and Mickey Rourke were like contemporaries in the 80s. And
Mickey Rourke looks like he's 75.
you know, that's what I'm saying. Mickey Rourke looks like a suitcase in human form. You know, if like they were showing Iron Man 2 on TV the other day, and you look at him, you're like, what did he do to himself? You know, I mean, it's just he looks unhealthy. But yeah, so good for him, I guess. Paul, I know you're like the biggest Die Hard fan. I know. How are you feeling about the new one?
It's a mixed bag, man. I mean, John Moore directing is not exactly an inspiration.
Now, John Moore did Behind Enemy Lines, I think.
Did Behind Enemy Lines. He did
Max Payne.
Max Payne, which was very painful. And they did the other one with Dennis Quaid.
Ryan, where's your thing when we need it?
Can't think of it, but it's fairly forgettable. I can't even think of the name.
Wait, I should know this. It's a who else is it? What's the movie? The Dennis Quaid movie?
I'm just gonna go ahead and find out for you here in 2 seconds.
Fine.
So you just stand by. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Come on. Don't fail me now. Flight of the Phoenix. There it is. That's what I'm talking about.
Brian, you need to keep that thing handy, man.
Yeah, seriously. There was plenty of times during Sean's story where I wanted to play I'm gonna wreck it. Especially after the Happy Juice part. No, but he also directed Flight of the Phoenix.
Flight of the Phoenix.
That's right. That's right.
That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah. So he's just kind of adequate. I mean,
he has kind of a cool style, but I mean, he's never done anything to really impress. In fact, he's done the opposite.
Yeah.
Nothing of substance.
No, and A Good Day to Die Hard, based on what we've seen, footage-wise, it looks just as you said, adequate.
Yeah.
It's not McTiernan, it's not even Rennie Harlan, and we won't even go with Wiseman.
Well, I think my sense from just what I've read about Willis is that he wants a director who's not gonna question him too much. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and that's exactly it. And that he's got a reputation for that. Now I can't speak to it because I don't know the guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, from what I understand, and Kevin Smith was very vocal about it after that beautifully awesome movie Cop Out. Of how, Bruce Willis basically just kind of like smacked him around, and it was like a huge disappointment because he was one of his heroes.
Yeah.
And then to find out that he was basically a dick was a pretty tough thing. And I don't doubt that. And I'll tell you why. You want to know why? Because Bruce Willis doesn't wear a toupee anymore. He never has anything but his bald head. And what does that tell you?
He doesn't care.
I mean, he's like, no, I'm not going to put any of that shit on my head. I'm going to show up as Bruce Willis. I'm going to read my lines as Bruce Willis. I'm going to do everything as Bruce, wait for it, Willis. So, and that is the general feeling I get. It's that he has settled into this persona of Bruce Willis rather than the actor Bruce Willis.
Right.
And I think, you talk to most people that did grow up with the Die Hard franchise, you're like, I miss John McClane. Where's John McClane? I got plenty of Bruce Willis in this movie, but where is John McClane? The guy that was on the radio, crying about, his relationship with his wife and, to tell her he's sorry because he thinks he's going to die. Where did that guy go? He showed up a little bit in Die Hard 2 and even a tad bit in Die Hard 3. By Die Hard 4, that guy was gone. And who knows if Die Hard 5, the prospects are not looking good.
Yeah.
I will say that I think that Jay Courtney, as his son, has potential. I was impressed with him in Jack Reacher.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
When I didn't expect to be, I thought he would just be a throwaway villain, and he was actually really good. So that's got me perking up. And then the R rating returning.
That's right. Yeah.
Now a lot of people say, "What does that really mean? Does that mean a bunch of CGI blood and a couple F-bombs?" Potentially, and likely, but that's always been part of the Die Hard films, and it was really felt. Its absence was felt in Part 4, especially for the Yippee-ki-yay line at the end. Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Blam. Come on, nobody appreciated that, and everybody was. I guarantee, I didn't see it in theaters because I was busy at war, but that was the one thing I can imagine in the theater was everybody just universally groaning at that moment because you're waiting for that the whole movie, And then it comes and you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
So,
I don't dislike the fourth one as much as you guys, but I do. I remember reading a quote by Willis right when it came out, and he was like, "Oh, this is my favorite one after the first one."
Whatever.
Yeah, which that's one of those like, come on. Do you believe that? Do you truly believe that?
That was like when Bob Kane said after that George Clooney was the best Batman ever.
Well, Bob Kane, that guy
Bob.
Crazy, man. Have you read his Tombstone?
What does it say?
Bob, okay, I'm gonna pull this up for you because this is for those of you who don't know. Bob Kane is the guy who co-created Batman, I should say, because he basically he robbed Bill Finger of credit.
Oh snap! As soon as you open up
here's
another
Bob
window,
Kane's
Zach, closes
tombstone.
out.
Now, we need some
maybe
like
that's something to do with
dramatic music playing in here.
I think
because
it's his
this is
internet
freaking crazy.
connection.
So this is his actual tombstone. Here we go.
Possibly.
So Bob Kane's tombstone. We need some kind of dramatic music playing here. Or you can just have that in the background. Okay, listen to this.
R2. Okay.
Now, bear in mind, this is a tombstone. God bestowed a dream upon Bob Kane. Blessed with divine inspiration and a rich imagination, Bob created a legacy known as Batman. Introduced in a May 1939 comic book, Batman grew from a tiny something or other, I can't read that, into an American icon. A hand of God creation, Batman and his world personify the eternal struggle of good versus evil, with God's laws prevailing in the end. Bob Kane, Bruce Wayne, Batman, they are one and the same. Bob infused his dual identity character with his own attributes. Goodness, kindness, compassion, sensitivity, generosity, intelligence, integrity, courage, not humility, by the way, purity of spirit, a love of all mankind. Batman is known as the Dark Knight, but through his deeds he walks in the light of a higher power, as did his creator, Bob Kane.
No.
I swear to God.
God bless bat nipples.
No, wait a minute. Does halfway through does that go carry on to the back side of the tombstone?
Well,
Like
the
there's no way that all
tombstone,
fits on the front.
It's like a book. So it's written on 2 pages of a book.
Good lord, man.
Yeah. That's crazy. So I have no explanation for that, you know?
Sean and I talked about what we were going to put on each other's tombstones. You remember that?
Yeah.
It was going to be Brian killed by...
Killed for sport.
Killed by his best friend Sean for sport.
Oh.
You know what I'm putting on? You know what I'm putting on my tombstone?
Pepperoni and extra cheese.
And extra cheese.
Oh no! Good lord!
I miss those commercials.
I've known you for a long time, Paul.
Did you know me back when I wrote the commercials
We've been
for
friends
Tombstone
for
Pizza?
a long time.
I remember those commercials.
Yeah.
Okay, so one more trailer to talk about, which is
Did you guys know Bruce Willis is bald?
Get out of here!
In every movie.
It never gets old. What else we got, Zaggy?
So we have Olympus Has Fallen, starring Gerard Butler. Let's go ahead.
Yep, I can't wait to get to Olympus Has Fallen.
Yep, let's
hurry it up.
Let's go ahead and play some of that.
Mr. President, we're ready for you.
Our guests have arrived.
I'd like to welcome you to the White House, sir. Sir, there's been an intrusion. Let's go. Move.
If you attempt to retake this building, I will execute your commander-in-chief.
Oh my God.
We have contact from inside the White House.
Identify yourself. 309er.
Jesus, Banning?
Is this the same guy that was removed from the president's detail?
He is ex-Special Forces.
40 commandos breached the gate. 28 are left. Can we trust him? With all due respect, I'm the best hope you've got.
So Gerard Butler keeps making movies.
Yep.
That's
Wait,
happening.
I gotta bring this up. I read this. I feel terrible. I read so much that I forget where I read these things. But I heard someone when they were explaining what it sounds like when Ewan McGregor tries to do an American accent. It sounds like an alien in disguise trying to sound like a human.
That's Gerard Butler, yeah.
That is what Gerard Butler sounds like in this. Like, all right, the White House has been, breached.
Yeah. What was that movie he did with Cameron Diaz or whatever? It's like, I won't even break a sweat.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember the name. I did see that movie.
The Bounty Hunter.
Unfortunately.
Bounty Hunter, yeah.
The Bounty Hunter, right, with Jennifer Aniston? Is that what you're thinking?
I'm gonna be honest. The only time I check out like a movie, like one of the many rom-coms that Jennifer Aniston puts out, is in the hopes that she will be in some form of undress.
Never gonna
And she
happen.
usually gets there to some point, but I'm always hoping just for straight nipplage.
It's never gonna happen.
But, has yet to happen.
That was one of
Well-
that was one of the questions somebody asked us last time. Remember, why does Jennifer Aniston keep making movies?
Why does Jennifer Aniston endure? Yeah.
Why does she endure?
She's hot.
Because
That's about it.
You want to know a little trivia? I saw a test screening of Wanderlust.
Okay.
And they were like, I heard Jennifer Aniston appears naked in this movie. And she did. The version I saw,
Yeah.
she was totally naked.
Oh, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. Our whole
how
theater.
did the boobs look? I want to know.
Perfect. but
It's about what I imagined.
Our whole theater gasped, actually, when it
That's
happened.
awesome.
Wow.
And we were like, did that? I went with a friend of mine, a girl, and she was just like, we just saw Jennifer Aniston naked. I was like, we did. Yes,
Was it
we
full
did.
frontal naked we're talking here? Or
No,
just
it was just
boobies?
from the waist up. But it was very
Oh.
jarring because it's just not what she does. And anyway, and then the film came out, and then from what I understand, I never saw the finished version, but they did not use that.
Yeah, they cut it out, and I bet you she had something to do with that.
I mean, that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, most likely. Yeah. She got.
Makes sense. She wants to continue to torture everybody on the planet. Just wants to see her boobs. What's the big deal? They're just boobs. Just show them already.
So
I always get caught up like this when I'm at Starbucks and the grocery store.
So Paul, I hate to interrupt you in a tangent like that, but what do you think of the Olympus Has Fallen trailer?
I think boobs. It looks like really cheesy fun.
Yeah.
And I do like Antoine Fuqua, the director. Training Day is actually one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah.
I think that actually has more to do with David Ayer than Antoine Fuqua, but either way, still one of my all-time favorite movies. I think that the effects are strikingly bad.
Yeah.
That looks like G.I.
For
Joe.
what is supposedly or looks to be or is selling itself as a big budget, high concept action film, which it is a high concept action film, but it doesn't look like it.
No.
You know, the effects look like honestly, like some amateur dudes with a little bit of special effects
Off the
knowledge
shelf
could probably
software,
pull off.
yeah.
Yeah, totally. And I didn't see, when I was watching the trailer, I was kind of like, all right, show me an iconic moment. Give me the Bruce Willis jumping off the building,
Right.
or, you know, one of those moments where you're like, oh yeah, I don't understand why so many action filmmakers miss that cue. Why? I mean, it's like they begin this film, they're like, yeah, so we're just gonna have him run and shoot, and he's gonna walk around and he's gonna shoot some more, and he's gonna punch this guy in the face. And it's like, when are you gonna do something that's gonna actually make us stand up and take notice? You know, something that's gonna become an image ingrained in our mind. And it's one of those sad things, and I think Olympus has fallen. Will suffer from that. It will just be a mediocre, you know, grinder action flick. You know, I don't think there's.
You know why? It's because of the CG. Those moments that you're talking about, it's because they try to do those moments with effects. Instead of the action hero having his cool moment, it's like, no, let's just have gunships attack the White House.
You're right. You know, that it is something that they fall back on. They're just like, yo, we got this great shot, blah, blah, blah. But,
Right.
I mean, how hard would it be? We really, between the four of us right now, I guarantee you we could each write down a shot for Olympus Has Fallen with Gerard Butler and just give him a moment. I mean, you're in the White House.
I got one. Yeah.
For one thing. I guarantee you, if we did it all right now, we could think of one iconic moment that would be like, man, that's the part from the trailer. That's the part that we want to see. You know?
Yeah.
And I guarantee you we could all come up with something that was like, man, that would be cool. That would sell the movie.
Yeah.
You know, how
Well,
many times do you watch a trailer and you're like, oh, I want to see that movie.
Right.
I want
Yeah.
to see that moment in the movie.
Right.
Well, I didn't think about this till you brought it up, but it makes me think of that shot at the end where the plane is going down next to the Washington Monument,
Right.
Yeah.
which looked like poo.
Yeah.
But and then you think of other films, like most recently. I know this isn't iconic, but the image that struck me in Flight was when the plane was upside down and the wing
Yeah.
hits the steeple of a church.
Yeah.
And it felt like whoa, like I'm seeing something kind of massive here.
Yeah.
And then just right off the top of my head, I was thinking of Men in Black at the very end of the film when they shoot down the ship in New York, and it comes down to the ground, and Will Smith flinches, Tommy Lee Jones doesn't, and it stops right at their feet. I mean, that's, you know, ingrained in my brain. And then
Yeah.
this, the Washington freaking monument and like a plane going down, and it just looks like garble.
Yeah.
And that's like the best they could do. Like have Gerard Butler jump off the Washington Monument.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about it. Or if he was like doing like Tom Cruise in Ghost Protocol, running down the Washington Monument with a rope. I mean, that'd be like, holy crap.
Something. Yeah.
I mean, that would be something where you're like, I think I might need to see this movie now. But I mean, oh boy, you had a plane crash into the Washington Monument. Holy cow.
That didn't even look
is
good.
Amazing. Yeah. And I'll tell you the other thing about Olympus Has Fallen is they have this cast that is like, how did you dupe all these dudes into your movie?
Yeah.
Have you got
Morgan Freeman? Yeah.
Right.
You got Angela
What's Morgan
Bassett,
Freeman doing
you got
there?
Aaron Eckhart, who I love and always gets undersold, and you're like, hey, how did you get these guys in here? Like, why are you here? They're like, well, we're getting a pool put in, and, we want to make sure we get us.
Now there's a similar movie coming up, right? If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
Roland
White House
Channing
Down.
Tatum.
What
Is it called White House Down?
White House Down.
is it? White House Down.
Yep.
With Jamie
Foxx
Foxx, right, as the president?
Barack Obama, and Channing Tatum,
As Clint Eastwood?
and
Yeah, that was
get
Joe
it 'cause
Biden.
he's black, and then Channing Tatum, and that, I don't know. I think that will probably be just as cheesy, but will probably have a little more merit. Emmerich is a bit more seasoned on the action front, and I think that he can up the. He knows the playground. You know what I'm saying? And I think Fuqua is best served in Training Day type material, rather than these big budgets. Like every time they give Fuqua a big budget, he screws the pooch. Like if you look at this and you look at King Arthur, I mean, you're like, oh, dude, you had. I mean, you're almost there, but you just you didn't get it. And by the way, King Arthur is one of those movies that could have just been awesome, given the right director.
I'm not a fan of that
I've given
movie.
it a chance like 3 times. I'm like, maybe I'll love it now. And besides Hans Zimmer's just masterful score for that movie, it is ass. It is plotting. It is another movie that could have had so many iconic, awesome moments, and there were none. So maybe Fuqua is not able to pull off those moments.
Well, my issue with King Arthur is the same issue I had with, and I know you like this one, Paul. Robin Hood, the Ridley Scott Robin Hood, which I like that one more than King Arthur. But my issue was where they're both this kind of revisionist take, where it's like this is the real story of what happened. This is the real King Arthur, and I'm kind of like, the myth is what we know. Like that's the story that we remember. So, something like King Arthur, they took it so far away from what makes it memorable, what makes it legendary, that it just becomes something completely different.
I agree
at that point, right? But they're still calling it King Arthur, So it's like, it's not this, it's not that,
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, that I mean,
you know what I
like
watched
the movie
recently
Lincoln.
was
it's like,
First
who is that guy? I'm just kidding. Sorry.
What were you saying, Paul?
I recently
Sorry.
watched First Night with Sean Connery and Richard Gere.
Oh yeah.
And I actually
Connery, yeah.
found it very enjoyable. It's not great, but it was much better than I had ever given it a chance before. I was very much like, this is just a piece of crap, stupid movie. It looks stupid, but I watched it on Netflix, and I was like, this really isn't bad. It under a better director, it really could have been something else, but
isn't it John Amiel? I think did that.
What's his face? Did all the comedy movies. Damn it, I'll find him.
Oh,
yes.
Was it Zucker? Yeah, that's right. John Amiel did the Catherine Zeta-Jones movie.
Entrapment?
Entrapment, yes.
That movie was poo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Jerry Zucker.
That movie was
that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's right. He did Ghost.
Yeah.
No.
I think he did Ghost,
yes.
I'm pretty sure.
No.
He did Ghost, yes.
Yeah. So we're running right up against the clock here. We're pretty much into overtime here. And we had some other content to discuss. Do we want to get into that? I mean, we're pretty much right at 2 hours right now.
I mean, I'm good to continue if you guys want to.
We could do a few more minutes. Well, I mean, at the very least, why don't we do our movie
Zachy
quiz,
disappear.
and we can if that spitballs out into
You made
a
Zachy
separate
disappear.
conversation, then we can sort of let that happen. So we're recording this just days after Inauguration Day, and so a topic we'd planned to discuss way back before Election Day was some presidential movies, just to tie in with the spirit of the times. But then George Lucas sold Star Wars, and the internet broke in half, so that kind of scotched our plans.
Star Wars.
And of course, the same thing happened this time, where there was the big Star Wars news that kind of pushed ahead what we had planned to talk about. But given that it is Inauguration Week, I figured it might be fun to quiz you guys on.
Sorry, I'm trapped in this.
Sean's
box.
doing a visual gag that will be lost.
Oh, okay.
Nobody will see this.
That-
His pants
that's
are
good.
off. This is getting weird. Back to Skype.
There's the happy juice.
It's everywhere.
God.
Oh God.
Wreck-It Ralph, how could you do this to me? Oh no. Okay. So why don't we start out? I'm going to do a presidential
Daniel
movie
Day-Lewis.
quiz. And the answer is maybe. I will ask you 5 questions having to do with filmic
presidents. Okay.
presidents and filmic
Michael
filmic
Douglas,
presidents.
Kevin
That's right.
Kline, Daniel Day-Lewis. Just give me my prize.
Okay. And there's the quiz. Good night, everybody.
Anthony Hopkins.
Josh
Josh Brolin.
Should I just let you rattle off actors? Okay. So why don't we pick icons? Since we were talking about Star Wars today, pick a Star Wars character.
Chewie.
Luke Skywalker.
Niem Nub.
Okay. Way to go obscure, Sean.
Ewok number 12.
I told you they'd do it.
You're
I got
playing
happy
with your
juice on my
Nien
Niem
Nub.
Nub.
Oh no. That's yeah.
You ever
That's
see
unfortunate.
Sean Coyle at the Disney lot watching a movie? Do not sit next to him.
All right, Zachy, let's hear it. I want to hear the questions.
What's wrong with the dog?
Chewie.
Okay, here we go. Okay. This president has been portrayed
Niem Nub.
more times than any other
I'll
on
say
film.
JFK. John F.
Yes.
Kennedy. Yes.
John F. Kennedy. Would you
I disagree.
Guys,
Chewie,
would you guys
Lincoln.
like to lock in a guess? Paul, would you like to make a guess?
I'll go with FDR, but I think probably
FDR?
JFK is right. But I'll go with FDR.
The answer is
Oh,
Abraham
boom.
Lincoln
Brian Hall with the win.
with 130
Wow.
portrayals.
Daniel Day-Lewis
Yeah.
is the only one that matters.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And in case you're wondering, John F. Kennedy's been portrayed
Wow.
30 times.
Huh.
So he's
what
100
what
down.
movies there's Abraham Lincoln? All these portrayals of him in.
See, he's always like a joke, though. It's like, think of
Uh,
Happy Gilmore. Remember, he's in the clouds at
Yeah.
the end, waving with an alligator.
Yeah.
Does that actually count? Because that's crazy.
I figured
Yeah,
it probably
that,
did.
that counts. Every piece of any cameo or whatnot is still counts. The only thing that doesn't count based on this tally, which is on I'm looking at
Hang on, let me go to
slate.com,
slate.com.
is if it's archival footage of
The actual president.
the person
okay.
of the actual president. That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
I like where this quiz is heading. Let's
Okay.
go.
Okay, so which of these iconic African Americans preceded Barack Obama
Luke
in the White
Skywalker.
House? Well, I need to say the
I have the answer.
Morgan Freeman, Dennis Haysbert,
Luke Skywalker.
Danny Glover.
Niem Nub.
Morgan
Yes.
Freeman.
Uh,
Morgan Freeman.
Go ahead, Paul.
Deep Impact.
And Dennis Haysbert. That's right.
24.
And Dennis Haysbert.
President Palmer.
Yeah, that's right. We just talked about Roland Emmerich. He tends to like making movies with presidents in them. Name the 4 actors who've played the president in Roland Emmerich movies.
I refuse.
Excuse me. Yeah, 4 actors. That's right.
I don't think I've ever seen A Day After Tomorrow, but I'm sure there's a president in there.
I can only think of one. I'm sure we're all thinking the same one.
We're all thinking of Bill Pullman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, who isn't?
Bill Pullman was in Independence Day. He was president. He was President
Patriot.
Whitmore. Action president. Well,
president
Patriot
wasn't
doesn't
in
count
that,
because there's no president.
Day
in
After
that.
Tomorrow.
We were still fighting for a president.
Day After Tomorrow.
That's right. Day After Tomorrow, it's Perry King is the president in Day After Tomorrow.
Such a great movie.
2012.
It's Perry King, by the way, interesting factoid, is the actor who played Han Solo in the Star Wars radio shows.
Huh.
Yeah,
I hate that news.
2012.
2012, it was Danny Glover.
It was.
I don't even remember that.
And then
I saw it.
Yeah, well, that movie, that movie taught me one thing, which is that when the end of the world comes in 2012,
Yep.
Right.
just find John Cusack.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his limo.
And yeah, just stick to him like glue, because that guy can drive over the earth opening up. And
seriously, I would just hire him and just get a limo and like, just drive, man.
Just find whatever film
Just
set he's on.
drive
and
till
just,
this thing explodes. Wherever you end up, we're gonna be good.
So what was the 4th one?
Jamie Foxx in White House Down.
Oh, you're going movies that haven't come out yet.
That's right. That's how we.
Well, you laid the groundwork for that one, so that's our bad. Shame on us.
I know exactly. I set the tone for it and everything.
Okay.
In the film Primary Colors, John Travolta plays a character who's based on Bill Clinton. Which actor portrays his competition in that movie?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I never saw that.
I saw it
I'll give you a hint.
ages ago.
I'll give you a hint. He passed away recently, and we talked about his passing on the show.
Michael Clark Duncan.
No.
Was it Ewing?
It was. That's right. It
Larry
was
Hagman?
Larry Hagman.
Really?
All right.
That's
Yeah.
2 for Paul.
Larry Hagman, yeah. See, wow, and Paul listens to the show, so that.
I do listen to you guys on the reg. Sometimes I gotta skip through a little bit. I mean, only so much time in the day, but very often I'll put on my headphones while I'm working, and I'll just listen to you guys ramble in my brain.
Well, there we go. So
And I'll be like,
so
Sean
Paul
doesn't know
listens to
shit.
shows. He's calling you out, Coyle.
Just kidding, Sean. I love you. You're my boy. I bought you the Three Amigos
Thanks,
soundtrack,
brother.
remember?
So I think that I to be honest, I didn't pay attention to who won.
Paul had 2.
It was Paul.
Was that only 4 questions, or was that 5?
That was 5.
All right.
That was 5.
Was it
Paul is doing the raise the roof thing for those of you who can't see him as you're listening.
It's cool if you guys just want me to come stop by and win the quiz. No problem.
You won last time too. I think you were on. Yeah.
Yes,
That's
yes.
true.
Talking
Yeah.
like the dude from Galaxy Quest. Thank you
Nice.
very
Oh,
much.
that's,
Very nice to see you. Thank you.
That's a good movie.
Dean Parasot, director of Red 2.
Yeah.
Who's director of
That's
Red
right.
2? Exactly.
Look at that.
There
I
you
just
go.
I tied it all in.
Not in a
Sticking
nice
with the
loop.
theme.
Perfect. All right, so that brings us to the close of another movie film show. This has been great. It's been, we've gone into overtime, but I think it was worth it because we had a fun conversation. Although I have a feeling once we edit out all the times my Google dropped me off, it'll be like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Just might
That's my-
break even.
That's my concern. Paul, where can people find you online?
You can find me at joeblow.com. I cover the morning shift, and then every Tuesday, catch my column, Come On Hollywood. I talk about all manner of things.
Yeah,
Stop
that's a
on
great
by.
column, by the way. I wanna recommend that. I always enjoy reading that. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Brian, how about you?
At everythingbrian.blogspot.com. Brian with an I.
And do you want to announce our other web venture?
Yeah, we just recently launched moviefilmpodcast.com. And it's still in its infancy, but it is coming together.
We have
So you
T-shirts.
can go over there. What's that?
We have T-shirts.
Yeah, there are T-shirts. We actually have decided that we have catchphrases, and we wanted to put them on shirts.
Yeah.
Wait, so you have babies running your website?
What?
You said it was in
'Cause
its
it's in
infancy.
its infancy.
Oh, right. Well, we thought, the mind of a child is a beautiful thing, and let's just see. Let's put that to the test. Let them run it. So far, it's a failure on every level. But
that was a catastrophic miscalculation.
yeah. Well, I'm waiting for it to turn around. But we post. We want that to be the hub where everything is available. Any way to stream the show, to download the show, links to everything. There'll be articles from time to time from us. So.
You buy bottles of Happy Juice.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna bottle that. Yeah. So Sean,
Jeez,
get
I'm gonna be
work.
busy.
Oh my god!
So
It's gonna be a
wrong.
busy
Never
2
going
weeks.
to that website.
Oh goodness gracious. Okay, and Sean, where can people find you?
Moosehub.com, and as always, check us out at MrBoyProductions.com.
Awesome. And just a reminder again, folks, please do hit up iTunes, write us a review, leave us a star rating, something like that. Every little bit helps. So whatever you can do on that front. We've actually got some new reviews since last time we talked, and as promised, we'll go ahead and read those. This is from Najib. This is the one review. And it says, I've known Zachy, one of the guys, I am one of the guys, since high school, and he's always had a passion for movies and pop culture. It is so refreshing hearing these guys talk all things entertainment. Great conversation and chemistry. We do have good chemistry. Sean and Brian, your romantic tension is what keeps people tuning in. It's like an Ang Lee movie that's waiting to break out.
What?
All right. I think that covers everything I need to say. Oh, wait. You can find me online at ZakisCorner.com. That's ZAKIS Corner.com. You can also you can also listen to the show off of Huffington Post and also read my movie reviews and whatnot up there as well. I'm still in the process of working through all the James Bond movies. I'm falling behind on that, but you can look for those on the site, and also look for Nostalgia Theater every Sunday morning. On behalf of Sean Coyle and Brian Hall and Paul Shirey, my name is Zachy Hassan. This is the Movie Film Podcast. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Welcome, friends.